2 seconds. Hold up. Okay, now we're live.
Hey, look at that.
Hey guys, what is up? Yes. Gotta sound retarded as possible right off the bat.
Amazing.
Can I say
I'm down with it.
that? Am I allowed to say that?
You should be okay. Let's explain both the difference. There's the mental one, which is completely okay. You
Yep,
have a disability. No offense to you.
no
I
offense.
got a lot of people in my family that have a lot of different ones ranging throughout the entire list. Most notably, my little cousin has autism,
Hmm.
but there is the other kind, which is just means that you are an idiot. And that is not that's the non-offensive
Yeah.
one. And we're gonna roll with that
Yep.
one, guys.
That's exactly the one I was talking about. So don't
Ex-
worry, don't worry.
exactly, guys.
All right, so how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel today. Today I have Mr. Noah once again showing up for this live stream. Say hi.
Hi guys, how are you?
So we're gonna be starting off with if you guys don't know, I put up some my community post like yesterday saying like if you guys have any quick questions about Dragon Ball or anything or any like what if suggestions and all that. And since Noah and I are pretty much like gods, I think, of Dragon Ball, I think we should be able to answer most of these questions and talk about a bunch of what ifs you guys got. So that's what we're gonna be doing today.
I am excited. I should be able to offer whatever help that I can. I
Hmm.
mean, I am mostly an animator. If any of you guys remember from the last time, I I've only wrote like two what ifs, and that's just with Damon.
Hmm.
So I haven't really done my own. I'm really just an animator, but a longtime anime fan. I'd like to say that I know a lot about anime, and most of them.
Hmm.
I'm a giant One Piece fan, a giant Dragon Ball fan, a giant My Hero fan.
Hmm.
I've watched all of Demon Slayer. I could probably go
Damn.
on for a while, but I don't want to bore you guys. So let's kill it with some good what if questions. I'm just happy to be here.
Happy to have you, man. And again, literally just look around your room and you'll know what kind of
Oh,
fan you are.
yeah. Guys, just for context, I do happen to have close to 125 Dragon Ball Funkos,
Yep.
ranging from the original Dragon Ball series to Dragon Ball Super, and then custom painted a Super Namekian God Piccolo based off Mastar Media's
Hmm.
anime war, the transformation that he used. I painted that probably about a year and a half ago. It still looks awesome. The box is like child's play because
Hmm.
I just like wrote like Sharpie and shit. I did not care about that. I was just happy that I painted it and it came out cool. So that was the main goal of it. But yeah, just for the context, when you hear him mention that, it's probably because from wall to wall in my room, I am Dragon Balled out. And at 20
Yeah.
years old, I'm still not ashamed of it.
Shouldn't be, bro. Shouldn't be. I know people who are like in their 50s and have all that stuff sitting around too, so it's pretty
Honestly,
awesome.
it's really cool because nowadays a lot of it is actually worth like a decent amount, especially the custom stuff.
Oh,
I
yeah,
just
definitely.
Yeah, just seeing what it's worth online, it's crazy.
Hmm.
But let's see what if questions these guys got for us.
All right, so first one is from Izuki Midoriya. Definitely him. Definitely him. Okay, so his first question is if I will actually be doing any more What If Damon Was in series. So for that one, I've only done two right off the bat, which is Damon in Dragon Ball and Damon in the MCU. And I gotta say, the Damon in the MCU one's doing like a whole hell of a lot better than I thought it would, to be honest.
It has been
So
doing good.
yeah, so I'm like, I do want to do more. My main concern with doing those ones is if I know enough series. Okay, I know someone's at the front door. Shut up. So pretty much, if there's any other series that like I know really well to be able to put myself in and make a difference, because like I have so many people saying like, "Oh yeah, Damon, do what if Damon is in like My Hero Academia?" And I'm like, I could, but I've never watched that show, so I can't do that. And that's like the main thing, where it's like if I do something like that, I won't be able to do much because I personally don't know a lot about it. And there's other series like everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Damon and Sonic," and I'm like, "Okay, but what will I be able to do in Sonic?"
I
Because
mean, yeah,
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 mhm,
yeah. It's kind of difficult coming from somebody who perfectly knows almost all, dating back to the Archie comics, basically.
yep,
Archie comics and video
yep,
games is
me
what I'm
too,
trying
man,
to
me
say.
too.
The whole storyline with everything, it's really, really hard to work somebody else in there,
Yeah.
but sprite animators know how to do it.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
happy that I've literally had to do that a million times.
Mhm.
I could bust out a Damon look
Yeah.
for as a hedgehog or whatever, and echidna, whatever the plan may be. We
Mhm.
could script something up easily, but you
Yep.
guys got to understand when it comes to anime series, this guy would have to, let's just shoot off animes for just for shits and giggles.
Yeah.
If you wanted to insert Damon into My Hero, he would have to watch all of My Hero and be caught up. If
Yep.
you wanted him to insert himself into One Piece, make himself a pirate, he would have to watch the entire series, probably go through it with a filler guide and make it through easier,
Mhm.
but still, nonetheless, to someone who works and does YouTube, going through an entire series just to insert himself inside of it because everyone's requesting a what if,
Yeah.
it's going to take time. Regardless of
Definitely.
whether or not he can actually do it,
Mhm.
it's going to take time.
Yeah.
The With ones that don't have 1,000 episodes or more, I mean, there's ones like Bleach. You know, they did name My Hero already,
Mhm.
Demon Slayer, God of High School. There's a bunch of them, but it will take going through said animes and actually coming across them first.
Yeah.
I have seen most of them, so I could help you with that.
Mhm.
But if, you know, Damon, you would have to watch it too,
Oh
basically. You
yeah, I'd have
can't
to go
just
through. Yeah, rely on you.
yeah, you
Yeah.
yeah, you can't secondhand it
Yeah,
because
exactly. 'Cause
then
then it
you
won't be
won't
like authentic and all that. 'Cause
exactly.
and the
You
main
won't
thing is too like I sure I'll be able I can watch the whole thing, but I can guarantee I'm not gonna remember everything.
yeah, no, of course,
So I'm gonna
because you have to
forget. Yeah.
duel it.
Yeah. And so
You,
if I go through the whole thing, it'll take, like you said, a long ass time. And then by the time I go to like write something, I'll be like, okay, what happened in the first arc again? Like I barely remember. So it's like that's the hardest part of all that stuff. Because the ones that I do now, like Dragon Ball, I grew up with Dragon Ball. I know literally almost everything about it for the most part. The only thing I'm not caught up with is Super Dragon Ball Heroes. That's the only thing I'm not caught up with. Everything else I can tell you for the most part. Everything with Marvel
no,
because
of
I grew up
course.
watching the movies. I think the only ones that I really can do right now is probably like maybe Avatar: The Last Airbender, Kingdom Hearts or something like that. Mostly Sonic. I could do Archie Sonic because I feel like that would be more interesting than the games. But again, I'd have to like read it again to remember
Yeah,
everything.
no, of course. Yo, David, I've always wanted to do this, so you really got to let me do it because I
Gotcha.
have the chat in front of me right now.
Uh-huh.
Yo, shout out to Mr. Negative for donating 2.99. He says,
Oh, I just
make
got
sure that
notification. Yeah.
he says make sure you refresh the page once in a while, and I do
Mm.
believe he's referring to the question page,
Yep.
just so we get new questions cycling in.
Yep.
That's really awesome that he did that, and shout out to him, man.
Thank you,
That's really
Mr.
cool.
Negative, bro. He's one of my patrons, dude. This dude is a literal god. I gotta let you know. He makes some
Um,
art too, and like good renders, and it's like, damn, bro, this dude's so awesome. Like, hugest shout out to this guy.
Mr. Negative, I've been helping Damon with renders and everything. I would love, love, love to work with someone on
Mhm.
it. And I would love
Mhm.
to meet more people who do the same thing as me and who are maybe even better than me because I'm sure I have a lot to learn. So please feel free to hit me up. Damon will gladly give you my info. And I'm in the
Definitely.
community group chat.
Mhm. Awesome.
Um, let's get this next question. I mean, as far as the one that we're on right now, Damon could be inserted in almost any series, but he's gonna have to watch it first.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. To sum it up.
Yeah.
All right, and no, okay, real quick right off the bat, there's a couple of these questions here that I gotta say we're not gonna spend so much time on, because some of them I think are like ridiculous. Like, no offense, but this one right here is like, what would happen if Krillin was born with Cell's potential? Like,
Dude,
stuff
really?
like this, I think. Like, again, no offense to you for asking this question, but for what if suggestions like that, those are weird ones.
I'm gonna be honest, you know what? Just to do this guy a favor,
Yep.
what would happen to Goku's life if his friend Krillin was born with Cell's potential? Krillin washes up until the end of the Cell saga, and then all
Mhm.
of a sudden he has nothing else left to do.
Yep.
There we go. All
Yep.
right.
Pretty
Because
much.
God Key becomes a factor at one point, and
Seriously.
it was just exposed recently that Kid Buu had a trace amount of God Key, no matter what, unless Krillin trained in the hyperbolic time chamber with Gotenks,
Mhm.
he probably wouldn't have been very effective. Also, didn't he die against Super Buu? So wouldn't he just get turned into candy anyway?
Yeah, seriously. Like that's the
All right,
thing with
enough
like
said.
yeah, that's the thing with these where it's like everyone being like, "Oh, what if Goku was born as Ultra Instinct? What if Goku was born as like Super Saiyan 2015?" It's like stuff like that. It's like
Yeah, no.
yeah, like those are literally just like, okay, he's born OP, no conflict at all.
Exactly. Pretty much.
Yeah, and that's for all of you asking those questions. I appreciate you commenting, but please don't ask those because those I'm pretty sure you yourself can figure out what would happen for stuff like that. Where it's like, oh, one shots
Yo,
everybody.
Damon,
Yep.
do you see that third question, bro?
Which one? What if
The
there's
the
no
third
heart virus?
what if there was no heart virus cure?
Yep.
Say when Trunks comes to the future and warns Goku, he has to face the reality that he's only got like 3 years tops.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's from Michael S. Because I don't want to
yeah,
botch
botch
his
the
last
last
name.
name. Yeah. That's a very interesting one. So, pretty much once Future Trunks comes back, he's like, "Yeah, sorry, dude. Androids are coming. You don't get to fight them because you die, and I can't stop that."
Yeah, the
That's something.
only I mean, here's the thing though.
Mhm.
If there is no cure,
Mhm.
do you honestly now here's the question for I want fans to respond to this too because I'm
Mhm.
watching and I want to see what you guys think as well. But of course I'm telling Damon you too because I would love to know what you think.
Mhm.
And now Trunks, knowing that now there is no virus cure, he comes back to the past where the Dragon Balls are still active. And there when he tells Goku this, that's their new mission. Instead of, hey, Goku's going to take the cure and they're going to train for the androids, he's going to get the Dragon Balls to wish this virus out of his body.
Yep. That's the
Because
main like thing I was thinking about for suggestions like that, because
drag-
the Dragon
Dragon
Balls,
Balls
yeah,
can't revive people that die from natural causes, but they
mhm,
might be able to take away an illness
yeah,
while they're still alive.
that is
So,
true. Like, because the main thing that I think is weird about the future timeline, I think we need like more talk about this is why didn't they use the Dragon Balls to wish away uh his heart virus? Like, did they just discover it too late, or I asked
in the
that's the one thing.
original timeline,
Yeah, like the one where Future Trunks came from.
well, that's the thing. The androids popped up,
Mhm.
killing Piccolo.
Yeah.
The
But the thing is
the
like he
Dragon
died
Balls
before the androids came.
in the future?
Yeah.
No, he was killed. The whole future team, bro, was killed by the androids,
No,
slaughtered by android 17 and 18.
for Goku, I remember in the history of Trunks at least, I don't know if this is like only for the anime, but I know that Goku died right I don't know if it was right before, maybe a few months before, but he died right before to the heart virus, before the android showed up.
Yeah,
So they had maybe he was showing symptoms around that time, maybe a little bit, and they're like, "Oh, it's probably nothing," and then he just died. So I don't know how it was before, but I'm thinking like if Goku was showing like major like heart virus symptoms and like for a couple weeks he was bedridden like coughing, Since the androids didn't show up yet, and Piccolo was still alive, and Goku was like basically dying, why didn't they go to grab the Dragon Balls and wish like, hey, the heart virus needs to be taken away? Or that's what
Good
I'm
point.
wondering.
But here's the thing.
Mhm.
When you think back on the way that Trunks explained how everything went down and
Mhm.
the span that the android showed up, you look at the present timeline. Trunks showed up and he warned everybody.
Yeah.
You look back into his timeline, nobody told them that Goku was going to catch a virus. The
Mhm.
virus didn't exist. To the point where Goku showed up to Earth from Yarjarat in the present timeline,
Mhm.
and 3 years went by, and until this guy went Super Saiyan against the wrong android, not 17 or
Yep.
18, it was only then he realized that, fuck, this heart virus is acting up. It's probably going to take me down.
Yep.
But in the past timeline,
Mhm.
it just attacked him.
Yeah.
He was probably home with his family, and it just attacked him.
Mhm.
So
That
at
is
that point,
something.
Gohan and Chi-Chi are the only ones who could see this, right?
Yep.
So they're taking care of Goku, and they're notifying the team about what's happening. Bam, androids show up. There's no warning.
Yep.
In between that, there's no time to go get the Dragon Balls, Vegeta, Yamcha, Tien, Piccolo, Shatsu. Probably everyone except Master Roshi, maybe because he was probably hiding, knowing
Mhm.
him,
Yeah.
got slaughtered.
Yep.
So in reality,
They didn't have
at
time.
the end, yeah, at the end
Mhm.
of the day, they had absolutely no time to get
Yep.
to anything to help this guy in the
Yeah.
fucking past timeline
Yep.
because, I mean, really, what could they have done?
Yep. That makes a lot of sense because that you're right. Because like once Goku, like he showed nothing throughout the entire
Nothing.
3 years. That even that's what Piccolo said, or Piccolo or
Yep.
Gohan. I don't remember. He was like, yeah, Goku showed no symptoms, so he didn't take the medicine because he didn't want to waste it. And so that
And
makes
Vegeta
complete.
yelled at him.
Yeah, he's like, you knew that this would happen if you went Super Saiyan. So I feel like Goku,
Yeah.
and also I remember in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Sure, I don't want to take canon stuff from
Uh,
that, but like right
yeah.
in that game, like right before we went off to go to like the island with Piccolo and Gohan to see the androids, like Goku like grabbed his chest, was like, ugh, ow. Maybe it's nothing. He did that in the game. So he definitely felt something, but like it wasn't until Android 19 where it just completely ruined him. So,
Yeah, I think we're not we also have to like take into account the biggest part of everything, guys.
mhm,
It's Goku.
yep.
It's fucking Goku. No matter what timeline it is, at the end of the day, Goku's gonna be like, it's probably all right.
Yep.
Oh, ow,
Yep.
ow, ow.
Yeah.
That's starting to hurt a lot more.
Uh-huh.
Going down, going
Yep.
down. Chi Chi, Gohan, I'm sorry. Bang,
Yep.
done.
So that's definitely how it happened because he probably felt it, but he's like, "Oh, it's not a big deal. I'm Goku. I'm me. I'll be fine." And then he probably just straight up passed out, was going through horrible pain, and they were like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" So Chi Chi and Gohan probably called, or only Chi Chi, whoever called everybody from the Z Fighters, was like, "Hey, can you guys come check this out? Something's happening." And by the time they all got there, in the history of Trunks, we saw they were all standing outside. I'm pretty sure by like the time everything, like everybody got there, he died.
Yep.
So it
And
definitely like struck, and then he just died. So it probably wasn't like something that they knew about. They're probably like, what even happened? Like, I'm pretty sure they only found out it was a heart virus after like Bulma like examined his corpse or something. So that
so,
that's probably why. Cause so I'm thinking that like, cause everybody like right now I'm looking at the chat is saying like, why
yeah,
didn't they kill him like right before he died? So that way when they brought him back, he wouldn't have the heart virus. That's the thing where it's like, why would they kill him? Because
yeah.
didn't even know
How,
what it was. Because like, what if it was just like a cold that was like hurting him really bad? You know, like what are they gonna do? Like, oh
guys,
God, he's almost dying. Kill him real quick. Like, that's not really realistic.
You think anybody on the Z Fighter team except Vegeta is
Yeah.
willing to kill that guy?
Yeah, seriously.
You guys are crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe Piccolo if he was really mad.
Yeah.
But on top of that, somebody in the chat asked an amazing question.
Mm.
Something that could honestly take up a whole what if. So I'm just going to mention it. What if future Goku arrived at the Supreme Kai's world while future Trunks was training
Oh
there
yeah, I'm
by
looking at it right
Gray
now.
Merlion 2?
Yep.
It's a great question, and I'll be honest with you, I don't have an answer for it because if you think about it, even in the future timeline, Goku had to come back from Yardrat, and he was probably the one who interfered when Meta Frieza, and
Yep.
King Cold showed up on Earth because there was no future Trunks to intercept.
Yep.
Trunks was already on Earth as a baby. Thus, Goku used instant transmission there and handled the business.
Mhm.
Thus, Goku knows that move. So obviously, he kept his body in the future timeline and he's with King Kai. The thing we don't understand is why, if that's the case, he obviously knows of Supreme Kai due to King Kai.
Mhm.
So why he didn't use instant transmission upon sensing Trunks is beyond me, but
Yeah.
maybe he also felt that it's been so long since he was there and everyone already passed away
Mhm.
that maybe he needs to leave it to the next generation, which
Yep.
is future Trunks, who at the time was prospering.
Mhm.
I mean, not prospering in life, but he was prospering in power. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
God dang, that kid is so unbelievably powerful.
Yep.
He's a game changer in every aspect, in every form of the word.
Mhm.
So, yeah, someone just said maybe the Kais wouldn't allow him.
That is
That's a
true.
great possibility.
But
In the
again,
present
like,
timeline, they're far more lenient.
yeah, because in the present timeline there was like nothing catastrophe and stuff going on. So there was the only like horrible thing that was happening like in canon in the present timeline when Goku went to the Supreme Kai's world is just Boo on Earth killing people.
Yep,
Um, and the only reason why Goku was able to get to the Supreme Kai is because he sensed Gohan there training, so he was able to go. But that was
but
like,
that's the thing.
yeah, that was the
If he
moment
sensed
that he got.
Trunks,
Yeah, like
and
why didn't he go?
plus you
Yeah,
feel something similar to Vegeta,
yeah,
you're gonna want to
seriously.
go.
Yeah,
You turn around to King Kai and you say you don't understand, that's Trunks.
yep,
I'm pretty sure they'll let Goku go, which
yeah,
is why that's a really good question.
hmm
So maybe it's something to do a good what if about,
yeah,
and
exactly.
maybe just maybe Goku can bring somebody with him. I'm pretty sure you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. It
Hmm
would be a great reunion for Trunks, a
Yep.
little bit of father son action going on,
hmm
and that would be absolutely great considering Vegeta is, not the most emotional person in the world, but I'm
hmm
sure he'd have quite a bit of things to say to his son, who, while he was dead, managed to just reach godhood by getting angry.
Yep. I just got a donation real quick from Will M0. Thank you very much again, $5. He says, if we disregard time travel, I think you are forgetting one other crucial factor: plot armor. Dun dun dun. Yep,
Yo,
you are
man, you
right.
are absolutely correct.
Yeah.
110%. That was great.
Yep.
Thank you for your donation and amazing put.
Yep. That is the thing. Yep.
That is absolutely great. Oh my God.
hmm But yeah, so I think all in all, we should definitely you and I should work on like what if future Goku was able to get to future Trunks during
Yep.
his own personal Buu saga, and to answer this question of what if there was no heart virus cure? What I personally think would happen is that since there's no way to save Goku in the present, and I don't know Shenron has the power to wish away a virus, especially this Shenron right now. I really don't know, but the main thing that I am not really sure of is if Kami's Shenron would be able to wish away a virus.
Yep.
Like,
Because
what do you
just
think?
because he can't doesn't mean Namek can't. And this
Yeah.
is awfully close to the Cell Saga, in which Kami makes the decision to relinquish his title and merge with Piccolo. Thus,
Mhm.
Goku gets the idea to go to New Namek to grab a new Namekian to be the guardian of Earth. And
Mhm.
obviously, everyone knows that turns out to be Dende.
Yep.
So, in this case, I mean, they could bring Dende into the equation, taking control of the Dragon Balls, and then enhancing them as he is famous for doing throughout the series
Yep.
through just becoming a better guardian of Earth, as we all probably predicted he one day would.
Mhm.
Um, this would in turn most likely allow them to wish away said virus. I don't know. Someone said, "What if Goku has Drip, implying he didn't already have
I
any?"
know,
Yes,
right? What do
Drip.
you mean? What do you mean?
Drip Goku
Yeah.
2 OP.
Yeah.
Yes, he is. He is. But regardless, this would allow them to wish away the virus. If this cannot be the case, if for some reason they
Mhm.
were unable to, there is
Yeah.
always Purunga.
Mhm.
If Goku does by chance die by this virus, there is another thing that these guys can do. He can come back for 24 hours.
Yep.
And should he decide to come back for 24 hours, the knowledge of him being with King Kai shall stay there through not
Uh-huh.
only Earth, but when Beerus wakes up, no matter the timeline. Thus, they will go looking for Goku anyway. When the God ritual comes around, it will either be Trunks or Goku being brought back because Whis could just tap his staff and fucking do anything
Yep.
basically. So, long story short, no matter how this goes, they will find a way to revive Goku.
Yep.
If they did not find a way to revive Goku, it would be a bleak storyline,
Yep.
and we are referring to the present timeline
Mhm.
because the future timeline is destined to be a hot mess.
Yeah.
That is the whole point of it. That is how Akira Toriyama planned it to be. The
Mhm.
present timeline, as chaotic as it may be, is designed to have its protectors.
Mhm.
So Goku is one of them. He's a mainstay, and as of right now, based on the manga, it doesn't look like he's going anywhere, despite the fact he may or may not be not in the greatest situation. Without giving spoilers out to everybody who does not read the manga,
Yeah.
things are not the best for Goku, but long story short, when are they actually all that great?
Yep.
You know he's going to survive. You know he's going to come back stronger. You know he's going to make the comeback. Why? Because as that one guy said, what if Goku has the drip, but he already has it? So he
Yep.
shall survive. It shall be okay. No matter what, at the end of the day, they're going to
Mhm.
figure out how to revive this guy. They
Yeah.
need him there.
Mhm. Because again, like the donation earlier, he's got that plot armor. So.
Yep, he does. He has
Yep.
pounds of plot armor
Mhm.
in the present timeline. There is nothing this guy can't do.
Yeah. I got a good point here from Grimmer Lion 2 again. He says he always had canon that Baba died in the future timeline, which is why no one bothers bringing up the 24-hour pass. And that would make sense why in the future Goku didn't come back for 24 hours, as if because if Baba was dead.
True, but
Uh-huh.
also you guys, this is actually kind of funny,
Mhm.
but you do realize that Baba, first off, in the Boo saga, didn't want to go anywhere near Earth because
Yeah.
Boo was there.
Yep.
When Frieza had to get revived, she screamed at Goku
Mhm.
for even having to be relatively close to
Yep.
Frieza.
Yep.
This woman does not want to be in danger. So, therefore, if the androids are making the future timeline a living hell,
Mhm.
followed by Goku Black, it's pretty reasonable that this chick probably went to go hide with King Yama.
Yeah, exactly. Because why would she stick? Because the androids can't leave Earth. So she
Yep.
would definitely be like, yeah, I'm out of here. And again, they definitely weren't just hunting around everybody because as we see in the history of Trunks, Master Roshi's still alive. Like, they didn't kill him. They didn't kill him. So they're definitely not just hunting all the Z fighters because
Although
like
you should probably rephrase that. It's Master Roshi. It's not that they didn't kill him,
mhm.
it's that they most likely never found him because
Yeah,
he's Master
exactly.
Roshi.
Yep. Because I feel like they
That
definitely like went to his house because they did in the present timeline. So I'm assuming that they did go to his house, but again, he was hiding in his submarine.
Yep.
So it's like they
We
never
saw the
found
only
him.
thing that lived
Yeah,
there was the turtle.
yeah. So they definitely like if they did find him, they probably would have killed him. Uh, but the thing with the difference between Roshi and Baba is, of course, is that Roshi, if he really needed to, would probably go out and try to help. But Baba is not a fighter at all. And if she has the ability to go somewhere where she knows that the androids can't hurt her at all, she would definitely go there. So
Yeah,
that's
pretty
the thing where it's
much.
like I don't think she'd die because the androids wouldn't go to like Baba's place and be like, "Hey, we're gonna kill you." And even if they did for some reason, she wouldn't be there. So,
I mean, guys, she's the Earth's equivalent to Bobbity.
yep,
It just so happens that she sees the slightest bit of danger and she runs for the hills.
yep.
So, yeah, that's basically why. And then someone said, but why did Beerus put Elder Kai on the Z Sword? Simple answer. He actually explained this and he gave it's no explanation, but a full explanation at the same time if
Mm,
you take into consideration who Elder Kai is.
yep,
Beerus simply says, Elder Kai pissed him off.
yep.
If you know Beerus and you know Elder Kai, you probably know how that went. Enough said.
Yeah. Because I remember he said like he was joking. He's like, "Oh, old Kai was like, oh, he was afraid of my power," but Beerus was like, "Nah, man, he was just a dick." So
Someone in
it's
the
like, yeah,
comment section, Gavin, says, Damon, my boy, I have a suggestion for your Avengers What If. Can I bring it up here?
yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
pretty sure I was about to say, I'm pretty sure you could just drop it in the comments, brother.
Yeah, go ahead, man. Any what if? So yeah,
In
and
the meantime, questions.
yep. Okay, so moving on to the next one by Chandler is what if Granola raised Kakarot? And for this one, I won't do yet because the Granola arc's not over and we don't know everything about him. So I don't really want to rush into like how that would go until the story's over. But as of all the context that we have right now, and again, spoiler alert for the Granola arc if you guys haven't read that yet. Here's a quick
Yeah.
warning. Granola fucking hates Saiyans with a burning passion because they killed his home.
Yeah, he's the equivalent. His race is Ceruleans. They're
Yep,
the equivalent to the Tuffles.
yep.
They were exterminated by the Saiyans under Frieza's rule. And to make it quite simple, he wants both Frieza and Saiyans dead.
Yep.
He finds out Frieza's still alive, and they are all basically fooled into meeting each other because the Heaters are just one giant gang that wants control of the universe.
Mhm.
They're quite powerful, but they're even more knowledgeable. And with enough money and enough leeway, they are managing to wage the biggest war in all of Dragon Ball, and
Mhm.
it is involving everything from Saiyans to races that are supposed to be extinct to Hakaishin energy just bestowed upon a Saiyan to gods in general.
Mhm.
So everything is coming to a boiling point, and while this question, I read it, it is amazing. He even includes details on
Yep.
what he wants the basis of the story to be.
Mhm.
It's even great enough that I just took a screenshot of it on my
Yeah.
computer, and I am going to revisit it later
Mhm.
to try and make sure that this guy gets the credit for the great question that he asked. It
Yes,
is
sir.
great. It deserves its own what if,
Mhm.
but right now it can't be visited until at least the end of this saga that is
Yes,
active in the
exactly.
manga.
Because again,
Otherwise, can't give it the full attention that it
yep,
deserves nor detail.
yep, that's the thing what I'm talking about. Because again, Chandler, he's been here a long time. He also does art. He's an awesome guy, I gotta say. And I would like to do this one, but as of right now, uh, sure, that's a great basis with him realizing that they're the last members of their race. But the main thing is again, we don't know everything about Granola yet. And I don't know if he actually would be like, as of right now, like, oh, I'm not just gonna kill him. So it's
Exactly.
like you just gotta wait because as of currently in the manga, like this Goku and Vegeta like, hey bro, like I just want to fight you because you're strong. Like, I think Goku said the latest one where he's like, I think there's like a misunderstanding here. We don't really need to
Yep.
fight. And Granola was like, I don't fucking care. I hate you. I want you to die.
Yep.
So it's
Yep.
like,
Exactly how
yeah.
that went.
So it's like I don't know if he saw the Saiyan. He's like, this thing will grow up and he will kill me if I
Mm-hmm.
hang on to him. So I don't know if that would be because as of right now, I know that his mindset would be like, "Oh, look at this stupid monkey," and then just shoot it in the head. It's like I don't know.
Yep.
So it's like I gotta wait till this arc is over to revisit this one because he'll. As of right now, Granola would most likely be like, "Yeah, no, I'm just gonna kill you." So
Yeah, he would
revisit that
immediately
later.
start having flashbacks
Yep.
and what's it called, PTSD,
Yep.
and he would pretty much instantly flip out.
Yep.
Uh, the question right under this,
Hmm.
it's two parts, and the first part, it's by Dan Pita.
Yep.
And what if Ben 10 was in Dragon Ball since the beginning of the series? The thing is, I don't know jack about Ben 10.
Me
Do
neither.
you?
Nope. Not at all.
All right. So it's one of those things where we would actually have to go through it to give it the attention it deserves. But
Yep.
the second part is actually something that I know for a fact me and Damon can fully answer, and it's
Thousand percent. Yep.
what would happen if someone like Raditz were made into an android. And I'm telling you right now the significance this would have in the storyline long term,
Hmm.
but in reality, Goku would be scarred for life
Yep.
because he never planned for his brother to even come to Earth. I guarantee you, Raditz is not someone who is easily controlled for long
Nope.
modernly,
Yeah.
because this would mean that he was revived or his remains was taken and then he was converted into an android
I
and brought
think.
back.
Yeah. I think this question is if he was remade. So like his if Jiro found his corpse and
Yep,
made her into an android. But would he
and
even
that's the
be
thing.
able to though? Like, can you
That's the
turn
thing.
like a
He would have
corpse?
to
Yeah.
wish, and everyone would notice, and
Yep.
that's what turns this into a giant saga.
Yep.
Because you have a Saiyan who's cyborg, and
Hmm.
he could potentially turn Super Saiyan because of the blood in him still.
Yep.
And that's the thing. All right. Just because he was brought back, just because he was made mechanically, doesn't mean that halfway through he's not going to take a glimpse at his little brother again.
Hmm.
And sure, he's going to be pissed. Sure, he might lay a beat down on Gohan, Piccolo, and Goku,
Yep.
and maybe even Vegeta. But at the end of the day, he's going to join the
Oh,
Saiyans. And you
definitely.
know that.
Yeah, because again, Saiyan's pride and all that. Like, sure, he was killed, but again, even after like Vegeta got his ass handed to him by all the Z fighters, he
He
still joined
knows
them in the
why
end.
he was killed.
Yeah, he's like,
He
well, I
knows
was
why he
gonna
was killed.
fuck these guys up, so that's on me. That's my bad. Because if even Vegeta can turn good, Raditz can turn good. Because like,
And this
yeah,
wasn't even the plan. We all know that Raditz was sent to Earth. Um, First of all, there's two plans here, okay? Vegeta and Nappa wanted him to recruit Kakarot so
hmm,
that way they could fight Frieza. But Bardock and Gine always planned for Raditz to grow up and find his little brother.
yep,
And he did, but he didn't go about it the way that any of them told them to. First off, Vegeta and Nappa said, take him and leave. Do
yep,
whatever you got to do. He didn't. He really just sat there explaining and yelling and then attacking and then yelling again and then just decided, fuck it, I'll take my nephew captive and then maybe that'll get your attention. Go kill your people and
yep.
then stack some bodies and then maybe I'll think about it. That wasn't according to plan. And his father would have slapped him
Oh yeah.
repeatedly for it, and his mother would have been furious. We
Mm,
know how that would have went.
yep.
Thanks to Dragon Ball Super Broly, we even got our own little introduction to them.
Hmm.
So we know that wasn't the plan. And at the end of the day, Raditz being wished back under any circumstance would ultimately result in a reunion between the brothers, and there's no doubt in my mind that a fight would break out.
Yep.
But the fight is going to end with everyone on the same side,
Hmm.
probably angry at the fact that Jiro turned someone into a robot again.
Yep.
And out of all things, it just had to be someone from Goku's bloodline.
Yep.
which is just all the more reason why Giro would want to do it to fuck
Mm.
Goku, but
Yep.
it's just not
Gonna work out
good.
very well. Yeah. Oh, and thank you, Pleta
So
Gaming, for the $2, by the way. I really appreciate it.
sweet.
Uh,
That's always awesome.
yeah. So what I think pretty much is that this whole situation would just make Raditz stronger in the long run. It would. I'm assuming this would most likely be like, what if Raditz turned good by Masako? Just Raditz has infinite stamina and would curb stomp everybody. Because he would turn good at the end, so he would definitely like just turn into
And
that.
if he gets injured, then Bulma fixes him up.
Yeah, I could
It's
repair him.
quite simple. It's not that difficult. It's pretty good. So the next question, though, I could already tell for a fact Damon's gonna want to skip.
Yep, I already did.
All right, sounds like a good plan to me too. Sorry, the eternal god of possibilities, but
Yep.
I'm gonna be real with you. That is ridiculous, and it would make Krillin the main character. And I kind of feel like you knew that asking this question. It
Mm.
would just make him OP, and it wouldn't make sense throughout the entire series.
Yep.
So yeah,
So moving
but
on to Plasma 6. He's got two
yeah,
what if ideas, and the first one is what if Frieza was born good? He has the same personality as normal, but he's just a good person. This is an interesting one where he can't have the same personality as normal because he would not be a good person.
what
'Cause-
is it? What do you? What are in what way are you saying that Plasma Six? And obviously, I know I can't ask you that, but to try and make it so that would work, if you're saying it's more of a Vegeta situation
Yeah.
where Frieza comes across them, he hates monkeys, and at the end of the day, well, he gets his ass kicked by one, and he changes in the form of he's not taking everybody captive, but he wants beef. He wants to fight the Saiyans always.
Mhm,
He's always going to have a score to settle, no matter what. If you mean it's a rival situation,
mhm,
then it's kind of no different than where we're at now. Frieza's already screwing with them, but he's not going to kill them right away.
mhm,
He's a rival to Goku. And the proof is, at the end of the day, he had to turn around and give Frieza his last promise, and it wasn't Vegeta he was working with at the end of the Tournament of Power.
mhm.
It was Frieza.
Well, thank you, Mr. Negative, for the 199. He says I may have commented more than 10 times. That is okay, man. That is okay. Comment all you want.
Oh, this is really a great comment. Ark says in the chat, sus is Noah backwards. Actually, no. Sus backwards is sus. Noah
Holy shit.
backwards is hone, and I hone my ability to think you're an idiot. But thank you for your amazing comment.
Holy shit.
So let's see. We just we got another one. Sweet.
Oh, that was awesome.
What if all the humans on Earth were Saiyan?
That
Uh,
one's odd because for stuff like this, I get comments all the time where it's like, what if humans had Zenkais and what if all that? Now, my biggest problem with this is that it would change Earth as a whole, where it's not even recognizable anymore. Because the thing with that, like, if all humans had Zenkais, like, imagine all like these wars and stuff where like someone's gotten like shot and suddenly they recover and they're even stronger than they were before. The main thing is that that's humans. So if a regular human, got stronger through a Zenkai, they would most likely be like, "Oh my god, I got stronger, almost dying." So I feel like more and more humans would become like that. And so if humans were like Saiyans, then they would most likely become more like Saiyans and Earth would not be the way it is now. Like they probably wouldn't have any like technology and all that stuff because all they'd want is to just fight and get stronger. So if
yeah,
Goku was sent there, he most likely would not be raised by like a good-natured grandpa Gohan. He'd most likely be raised exactly how he would be on planet Vegeta if it never blew up, except with like worse parents, I'm assuming. So the main thing with that is like it wouldn't just change the like Yamcha, Tien, and Krillin, all that. It wouldn't only change them because we'd have to apply this to like all humans. So all humans as Saiyans, it would just be like a completely different series. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like sending Goku to another planet Vegeta. You got to remember Frieza and Vegeta, not Vegeta, well, planet Vegeta, the
Yep.
Saiyans itself, kept records of what most of the planets were doing under their control and on their radar. Thus, they registered Earth as a relatively peaceful planet that would sell for a lot of money.
Yep.
So, I mean, if they all had Saiyan blood in them, they'd be sending Kakarot to another planet Vegeta.
Hmm.
It's exactly what it would be destined for.
Yep. And again, like if they are like Saiyans, they're gonna train to get stronger. So that if Frieza found that out, you know,
Yep, basically, pretty
he'd just
much
go there
nuke.
and blow it up.
Yep.
So it's like that would not be a good situation because if they were strong, even sure most Saiyans like really didn't train to their full capabilities because evidently obviously they all didn't have like Super Saiyan like 5,000 when you by the time the series started. Like so they didn't train as hard as like Goku or Vegeta. But the main thing is like they would still train if humans were like Saiyans. So they would be strong enough that it would be detected on the Frieza Force's radar. So Frieza would most likely go either enslave them or kill them all. So in the end, it would just end up as Goku once again becoming a slave to Frieza or dying. So it just wouldn't be a best situation for all those guys.
Mr. Negative said, "What if Vegeta used the Dragon Balls to wish all humans back were Saiyan? To wish if all humans were Saiyans on Earth in an attempt to revive the Saiyan race, once again Frieza would gain the attention to that and would blow it up."
Mhm. Yep.
S-
So pretty much
So
like it might seem like a good idea in the long run to make humans stronger, but it would be horrible if they were.
instantly make them a target.
Yep. And again, like they can train all they want, they're not killing Frieza.
Yep.
So
All those power levels would get sensed instantly as a spike, even with just scouters, and it
yep,
would just get nuked.
yep. So it's like, sorry, not gonna work. Because even like someone as strong as Nail, he had nothing against Frieza. And if someone on Earth got that strong somehow, still wouldn't mean anything. So
Yep.
it's like, sorry, not going to work.
So for the next one,
Hmm.
it's Gavin Paul Ramirez, and it says, "Is it harder to get a good premise for a what if, or harder to keep a good one going on long term?" Damon, take it away, my good sir.
Gotcha. Okay, so this is a tough one. So pretty much coming up with a premise isn't really the hardest part. It's just making it engaging. Because I could have like the stupidest idea. And one of my stupidest ideas was like, what if Goku never met Krillin? Like everyone's like, oh, nothing would happen. But then once you get into it, you realize that a lot of stuff changes. So I feel like the premises aren't really the biggest problem. It's just keeping it going. So I think it's a lot harder to keep a good one going long term. Because I've had a bunch of series where like I like working on it in the beginning, but as the series progresses, I start to lose interest in it because it either becomes everyone gets too overpowered or it's just like the exact same as the show.
Exactly.
And that's my biggest issue with some of the what ifs that I make. And it's not cuz like I know it's not only my writing. I know it's just cuz I want to keep as close to like canon as possible in a way, if you know what I'm saying, where it's like I don't want to like just suddenly Turles shows up or like suddenly Android 13 shows up because of this, where like it has like no bearing to, you know? And I only
Absolutely.
try to do that stuff if it makes sense in the story because like in my What If the Galactic Patrol arrived early, Android 13's in it, but I wrote that in a way where it made sense why Android 13 was created.
Yep.
And not just have it be like, oh, suddenly Android 13's here. How? I don't know, because you know.
Exactly.
So it's like I try to keep it as straightforward as like following like Saiyan, Frieza, Cell, Boo, Battle of Gods, and so on and so forth and stuff like that. And it's harder because like sure it has a good idea in the beginning, but if suddenly everybody gets too strong because of a change or too weak because of a change, or nothing changes at all in the future arcs, it gets
Like,
worse and worse as I write on because I realize like crap, this isn't good anymore. And I'm the kind of person where I don't want to just stop a what if like somewhere in like the Cell arc. Like I want to like make it until it ends, like until like the end of the series. Because I'll feel like
exactly.
I didn't like do it justice if I didn't do the whole thing, because there's still going to be a lot of people in the comments being like, "Why'd you end it? Like we still have all this stuff to go forward." And I know people are going to say that, so I can't just end it in like the Cell saga, because people are like, "Oh, what about Boo? How would this affect Boo?" And it's just that's my main concern, because I wanted to keep going because I'm determined to finish it. But the worst part is like if I keep it going for too long, it's gonna stagnate and not do so well for me in a writing style sense, and for you guys in like a viewer's attention sense, because you're probably gonna get bored. So the worst part is keeping them long term.
Good sir. I wanted to let Damon handle that, as he is, of course, the infamous what if maker. So I really can't offer much on that besides the fact that it is kind of hard for me when I try to help write, or give Damon something to write about by writing my own, and then throw it to him for him to look over so we could tag team it up and hit it up on a good video and
Mhm,
try and see how you guys like it. Uh, I personally have a hard time doing dialogue.
mhm,
I know exactly what they would say in a lot of situations, but it is hard for me to actively keep up a good conversation in storyline. Thus,
yep,
I try to just take it in a form of these are the events that happen, and in detail what is taking place, why it is taking place, this, that, and the third. And I try
mhm,
to do it that way, and then just have Damon take it from there, because everything that usually I'm missing
mhm,
is the first thing that you would do.
yeah.
So it's really just like the perfect end on both sides. It's a great way to get it done. That's, if you guys don't already know, I actually, the Fighter Z video where Damon joined
Yep.
in the end of that game, I wrote that. And it
Mhm.
was really, really fun for me to write that. I had no plan on it being actually used. And then Damon just randomly hit me up one day and was like, "So, recorded a video using it. Can I post it?" And I'm like, "Sure, of course you can. Why not? Because I don't mind. It's me."
Mhm.
So when I watched it and I went through it, I'm not a fan of hearing my own stories, but I was really, really happy of the way it came out. Damon was like, "I made a few tweaks. I hope you're okay with that." I watched it. I mad times, and it was awesome from start to finish. The things that he changed is stuff that I just wish I thought of anyway.
Mhm. Yep.
So it was all it was just perfect. It was like we both put our 2 cents in, and we just made the best what if possible
Mhm.
for that specific topic. And it was really, really cool. And it set a precedent for what me and him can do for any what if
Yeah,
that it
exactly.
comes across our table and we decide we want to take up.
Mhm.
But Chandler does what ifs actually uh, has another question he put down, and so does Dave Lord 299. And I read this question a couple minutes ago, and he said someone suggested me to do a what if about if Pan and Bullet was born in the same time Future Trunks was.
Mhm.
how this would change the timeline and what would go down. Well, in reality, I think that this just puts them in danger
Yep.
because in reality, they're going to be kids. Where do you want them to be kids starring? Would you rather them be kids starring the Android saga and grown for when Black shows up?
Mhm.
Or would you rather them be kids when Black shows up?
Yep.
Either way, they're going to be a target for a menacing force.
Mhm.
And adding them into the mix just gives the whatever villain comes across them more time to slaughter.
Yep.
It's really all it does.
Yeah, because I was actually planning on working on a video called "What If Pan Was in a Future Timeline," and I had the setup for it. I was writing it, and then I realized it wouldn't change anything really because
Yep,
I started doing it, and all I got was pretty the only big thing, kind of pretty much what I was talking about earlier, where it's like the setup is all good, but I would end it like as soon as it started because the only really interesting part was me writing a story about Gohan meeting Videl early and saving her from the androids and having Pan. The thing is
pretty
that
much.
Gohan would still die to the androids because of the future timeline. Um, Trunks would probably train Pan in the future though, because Pan would still be too young to fight the androids. So she would pretty much be left out of the story for the long point, at least, because she'd be too young. And Trunks would still go off and do all his thing with the androids. He would probably train Pan after he killed the androids in Cell. And I don't know how old Pan would be during Black's reign, like either like still a little girl or if she would be like teen, like preteen. I don't know what age, but I was thinking because I was like, oh, even if she can at least go Super Saiyan, she wouldn't be able to do anything at all. She would just be either killed by Black right away, or she would just be sitting around in the background, you know?
Pretty much.
So it's like, I wanted to do it, but it wouldn't do anything because she would either die, be no help, and everyone would be mad at me for
Exactly.
not having Pan do anything. And I was like, crap. So I wouldn't want to do that. And literally the exact same thing for Bra or Bulla or whatever her name is. She would
Yep,
factor no thing at all. Number one, I don't think she'd even be born because Vegeta and Bulma just
is
had
that.
Trunks. And Vegeta most likely would be like, I don't want another kid at that point in
Yep,
the story. So it's like she most likely wouldn't be born. And on the off chance that she was, she also wouldn't be able to do anything because it'd be the exact same thing as Pan. So if these guys were born in the future, it would change basically nothing except Trunks would have someone to train.
exactly.
So it wouldn't be really the most interesting story.
But Chandler does what is.
Mhm.
As a Vegeta fan, I feel obligated. What if Vegeta hit his head similarly to Goku during a mission with Nappa and Raditz, and maybe the other two Saiyan survivors?
Mhm.
He hits his head badly. This causes him to become pure of heart. Now, this is a great question because, as you know, in order to use Ultra Instinct, you need a calm mind. But Vegeta, as a Saiyan, his mind is basically predestined to constantly be on destroying things
Yep.
24/7. Hence why Beerus considers him a great candidate for Hakaishin and its energy that the technique comes with,
Mhm.
and the title itself. That's exactly how the events currently going on in the manga are taking place and why it is going down. Of course, you got Damon holding up the bottle so he can give you that quick sponsor, but um, what's it called? Uh, if this did happen, Planet Vegeta gets blown up. Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa find out. Vegeta has hit his head at this point and
Mhm.
has woken up. He is ultimately going to lead the Saiyans in a different direction. The first thing he does is turn to Raditz and say, "Where's your brother?" Because we're gonna need honest help to take down Frieza. Instead of just Raditz going there, they all go.
Mhm.
And upon showing up to Earth, they don't question Kakarot a bunch of things and all this stuff or approach Piccolo and threaten him.
Mhm.
What they do is instantly find Kakarot while he is with his family and everything at Master Roshi's, and they don't just open up with what the hell and all this stuff. They downright come out and say, "Look, Kakarot, I'm the Saiyan Prince. This is Nappa, Royal Guard. This is Raditz, your brother."
Mhm.
Raditz introduces himself. Goku's in disbelief. They have the period of introduction and shock. And then after that, or after the initial process, they explain Frieza's existence. This skips the Saiyan arc,
Yep.
giving the entire Saiyan arc a remake into a training arc
Mhm.
where they all consistently train to approach Namek. So by the time Namek rolls around, the Namek saga would come around at the exact same time because they spent all that time training on Earth. And you know full well that Goku, Nappa, Vegeta, and Gohan, once he grows up a little bit more,
Mhm.
would be able to get a lot of training done. The whole Saiyan squad would exponentially get stronger. And with Vegeta thinking in a more positive rate, if we take this series all the way down the line, we skip Frieza, we skip Cell, we skip Boo, we let it all be written out, happy, done with. By the time you make it to the God portion of the series or series, because there's multiple, you basically have almost a little bit of a bigger competition in this rivalry.
Mhm.
You got Vegeta, who's thinking calm and is on the same level as Goku because this calm mindset allows him to train and to fight for the same things that Goku was fighting for
Yep.
earlier. Thus, this change that happens to Vegeta, this character development, it's already done. Bang,
Mhm.
middle of the series because he whacked his head.
Yep.
And the drastic change you've witnessed. He was a cocky, arrogant prince. He hit his head. He's still got the arrogance, yes. He's confident in his ability, yes. But he wants to protect everyone. It's
Mhm.
like he hit his head and Boo Saga Vegeta. It's just he's still wearing the same
Yep.
armor.
There it is. Because I was gonna say in the Boo Saga, that's pretty much his character. He's like, oh, that's how you're so strong. Because you don't fight for yourself. You fight to better yourself, but you also fight to help others.
Exactly.
And if he learns that early, then boom, he can get as strong as Goku does.
And with a calm mind and a pure heart, it is no doubt in my mind that Vegeta could potentially end up either A, being the first Super Saiyan,
Yep.
B, being the first Super Saiyan God, or C, getting to Ultra Instinct before Kakarot
Yep.
does.
And I feel
It'll be
like,
one of them.
yep, I feel like for Ultra Instinct Vegeta, him being a being of pure heart, like this what if suggests, is the only way that Vegeta can actually get Ultra Instinct.
Yep.
Because in canon, I don't think he ever will get it, and I don't want him to ever get it. Because it just wouldn't really match his character. Like I love what they're
At
doing in the
all.
manga right now, where like he's going with the God Destruction route and Goku's going to Angel route. I love that dynamic so much. Him getting Ultra Instinct I feel would totally ruin his canonical character because it's like that's not who he is. He wouldn't be able to get Ultra Instinct because he's not a calm person. So and also going off of like what like other what if channels do. Like I know Salad Saiyan did what if Vegeta got Ultra Instinct. His explanation for that was it made sense, but again, I feel like that just wouldn't happen
It
because
made sense, and it would only be a good route for him to explore. It can only be
yeah,
explored once.
yeah,
Can't play
seriously.
many tricks off that same route.
Yep. So it's like that the way that Salad Saiyan wrote it would be like a 1 in 1,000 million whatever big number circumstance could be able to get it. But
As
like
far as series goes, it's a
yep,
one and done.
yeah. But for like canonical, I don't think Vegeta will ever get Ultra Instinct, and I'm so glad that he didn't. But for something
Yep.
like this, he definitely could, because he'd be a better human being and would have more control over himself that he'd be able to achieve it. So,
Absolutely. I completely agree.
good.
So, as far as the next question goes, to not butch the name too much, Maud Yardi,
Yep.
I think.
Yeah, I think that's it.
What if future Goku never got the heart virus? In a battle with the androids, he could use instant transmission to save his friends, like with Semi Perfect Cell.
Mhm.
If he had never gotten the heart virus, I mean, it's really arguable. Future Trunks may have never had to go back in time.
Mhm.
With Goku there, it's arguable that no one would have had to die.
Yep.
If someone did have to die, they would have been able to use the Dragon Balls because Piccolo wouldn't have died. He would have been protected. And
Mhm.
even if he did die, Goku was there to use instant transmission to go to New Namek
Yep.
and or contact King Kai to find out what's good.
Mhm.
So at the end of the day, it would just mean future Goku survives throughout the entire timeline.
Mhm.
And me and Damon actually wrote a what if right like that upon meeting Damon. It was one of the first what ifs I had ever presented him.
Yep.
And that's when he told me I have to basically keep writing. So that is why you guys see some of me throughout the channel.
Mhm.
As far as the next question, oh, this username is great. This
Nani?
username is great. Nani? It's a mixed what if. First, what if Roshi wished for his young before drag wished for his youth, you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. What if Roshi wished for his youth before Dragon Ball?
Mhm.
The next question is what if the Dragon Balls couldn't revive people?
That one
And
I'm
the
already
final
working on.
exactly.
Mhm.
So we really have two. What if Kami, after separating, trained with King Kai for only 3 months? And what if Roshi wished for his youth before
Mhm.
Dragon Ball? Uh you know what? Me and Damon will take one each. How about that?
Yeah. Which one you want?
Which I'll take the Kami one because you
Gotcha.
did a what if about Kami. You
Yep.
take it away on Roshi.
Gotcha. Okay, so for Roshi wishing for his youth before Dragon Ball, um, I feel like that couldn't happen about him wishing it before Dragon Ball because he didn't know anything about the Dragon Balls. But I'm thinking like the best period of time for him to be able to wish for his youth would be in that gap between the Red Ribbon Army and not King Piccolo, Tien.
Yep,
Because in the series he didn't know about the Dragon Balls, and during the Red Ribbon Army, Goku was looking for him, so Roshi didn't really have time. But since there's like a 3 year gap between Red Ribbon and Tien, Roshi would be like, okay, I'm gonna go get the Dragon Balls and wish for my youth. And not to get stronger, but for Roshi, he'd probably do it to like be able to bang a bunch of hot chicks.
pretty
So
much.
that's the only reason why he'd do it. But I feel like
Yep,
he would still be able to. He would reclaim all of his stuff, and he'd probably be able to train Yamcha and Krillin even better, because he would be stronger, of course, and be able to move better. Because Roshi in the manga had like a prototype Ultra Instinct, I think. So him being able to like have a more youthful body and be able to control
probably
his
enhance
ki
it.
better, yeah, it would totally enhance everything he could do. So this would be like a whole like different story, because would Roshi die, sealing King Piccolo away with the Mafuba? Probably
Probably
not.
not.
So if he was able, and Roshi also has like internal youth, right? Not
Yep.
internal youth, but immortality to a degree.
If not, yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to argue that part.
Uh
I
huh.
wasn't gonna put any input, but just for detail and
Uh huh.
context, he constantly has been using that forest, and none of us learned about it until
Yep.
Dragon Ball Super. Him and Baba exposed the fact that this is how Roshi is still alive and how he's been alive for over 1,000 years,
Yep.
and it's because Roshi has been actively eating this herb,
Eating.
rainbow herb, yes, eating it, and he literally just retains some sort of youth inside of his body,
Yep.
but his appearance does not change. Hence why he is able to still use his full powered form,
Mhm.
where he bulks up. hence why he still has quite a bit of martial arts, why he's still learning new techniques, why he was prepared for the Tournament of Power, and why he's still a friggin' force of nature, if you couldn't tell by when he was possessed by the witch chick at
Yep.
Tien's dojo.
So,
So, yeah,
hmm
that's pretty much actively how that would go.
yeah, he'd just
And,
be overpowered probably. Would
mm-hmm,
train everybody to also be overpowered, and then it would also be like Salad Sands. What if? So,
basically.
so it's pretty much like that's yeah what would happen. All right, so now take it away with Kami and King Kai.
All right, here I go. What if Kami, after separating, trained with King Kai for only 3 months? So, you mean after Kami's evil side and good side separated, so you're referring to when the original Piccolo split with Kami? So, if I got that correct, King Kai, probably looking over his quadrant of the universe, was looking after this large evil amount of energy in a powerful warrior, a Namekian, whom had the power to birth the special orbs of the Dragon Balls, but he was constantly in conflict with himself. Splits. The evil side is running amok, slowly gathering his power, training, this, that, and the third. We all know how King Piccolo plans to run his empire. Kami, on the other hand, taking this different approach where he would be training with King Kai, ultimately King Kai notices that this separation has left Kami in basically a shell of what he could be or what he should be. And as the future guardian of Earth, what he would like to mold him into being, or what Kami would hope to be, and what he would ultimately turn out to be in the real series, he goes for 3 months to King Kai's planet because King Kai personally requests
Hmm
that he is brought to King Yema by Baba. Baba, obviously,
hmm
having her brother on said planet, it's not really something hard to accomplish. Goes, retrieves, brings him to King Yama, where King Yama grants him permission to take Snake Way. He takes Snake Way to King Kai. King Kai trains him for 3 months, and in this 3 months, what Kami is taught is I am basically, yes, an Namekian who has evil and good in me. My evil side split from me. With this just good, I have received a significant power loss, but that doesn't mean that I'm useless. Here, I can learn how to manufacture my Dragon Balls. I can maintain and stabilize my energy. And I can learn more techniques, more defensive techniques and offensive techniques to actively protect Earth as the Guardian.
hmm
This could enable Kami to be the first one to learn Kaioken in his youth, and could make Kami be the first one in his youth to learn the Spirit Bomb,
hmm
because King Kai never found a warrior who was worthy of these techniques until he met Goku.
hmm
So Kami could in turn be this warrior.
Yeah.
And it could be that Kami is this warrior before Goku ever was, because Kami is in his youth,
hmm
grows up, becomes the old guardian of Earth. When the Saiyan saga rolls around, Goku doesn't have to leave the planet anymore to
Nope.
learn new abilities. No. When he's a kid and he runs into Kami already
hmm
has knowledge of these techniques. And he's scouting Goku and training him to become a fine warrior for Earth, following hitting his head and gaining a little bit of age and experience in martial arts, which is just natural instinct for a Saiyan, of course, even though he doesn't know that yet. He just thinks he's Monkey Boy with the tail, basically. So, training with Kami, this is just one big scouting mission. And by the time Goku was a teenager, he could probably at least handle just, and I mean just, Kaioken with
hmm
no multiplier
Yeah,
involved as
just
far as times two,
Kaioken
three,
times
four, or five.
one, basically.
Just Kaioken. Yep, one. The first generation of Kaioken,
Yeah.
most. And maybe the tiny spirit bomb.
hmm
And that's assuming that because he is training with Kami more intensely earlier because of Kami's new experiences in this timeline, in this what if, then Goku would be exponentially stronger and be able to maintain this even in a younger body. Growing up, he would just be able to raise the multiplier more, and it would just mean he may, by Frieza Saga, be able to handle the super spirit bomb that he gave Kid Buu.
Mhm.
And why I say that is because in base form, Goku had to hold up a giant ball of energy in base form, no matter how strong he was. He was the only person who knew of the technique. Thus, he had to be the one to do it because Vegeta had no knowledge of it. So he stood there with a giant ball of energy, no energy in his body, and as soon as he tried to push it, he ran out. In the
Mhm.
Buu saga, if they had not wished for him to get his energy restored, he probably wouldn't have been able to do a blessed thing with that spirit bomb. It
Yep.
would have got chucked back at him, and Kid Buu would have went on a rampage right after. So in this what if, Goku probably would be able to handle a giant spirit bomb.
Mhm.
And that's way more significant than whatever he could do before. That's like saying by Frieza Saga, by Cell Saga, by early time earlier than the Boo Saga, he could chuck a giant bomb of energy that
Mhm.
everyone's giving him at whatever villain approaches him. That's pretty insane.
Mhm.
If this guy happens to transform at any point in time, he's going to be drastically stronger than he was in the original timeline.
Mhm.
So this just has a one big ripple effect.
Yep.
Long story short, Kami becomes a very powerful master, possibly even greater than Roshi.
Mhm.
And that's really it.
Yeah. And again, even thinking about like pretty much if Piccolo and Kami ever need to fuse again, if they did, then Piccolo would have all those abilities too. So
Basically,
yeah, so
and
just feel like we'd
when
have
they
two
do
overpowered
fuse,
characters.
yep, when they do fuse, they would probably be on par already with Super Saiyan 2 by that logic.
Definitely. So yeah, pretty much would just be like, oh, bye villains.
Yeah, by that point, he's swatting everybody away until the Boo Saga.
Yep.
So, legendary monsters of power. What if Goku was a different species, like say a Namekian or Frieza's race?
That
Um,
one's tough. And real quick for everybody
I
saying
mean,
to like refresh the page. Luckily, this just refreshes by itself. So like I checked earlier.
okay,
The further I go down, your comment will be there. Like it just I don't need to physically refresh the page as it just normally does. So we'll get to your comment eventually without me having to refresh it. So don't worry about that.
there you go. I'd say this is hard
Mhm.
because there's no explanation behind it.
Yeah. So pretty
Namekians are
much,
birthed by eggs.
yeah. What?
And if Goku just happened to be one of them, why would he be named Goku if he was on Namek?
Mhm.
Goku translates to Monkey King.
Yeah.
So what about a Namekian would be characteristic of a monkey?
Mhm.
The same can be said for Frieza's race, who I'm pretty sure is born from also either A, an egg, or B, just kind of thawing out in a
Mhm.
block of ice until they're born. That's literally how the frost demons work.
Mhm.
And then it cracks, and then they're born.
Yeah.
So it's really kind of give and take here.
Mhm.
Goku, I don't know, man.
Yeah. This
Goku
one's
really
rough.
wouldn't work as another series.
Yeah,
He
because
wouldn't
the
work as
thing,
another race.
yeah, the thing with Goku is that he was sent to Earth for a very specific circumstance under the Saiyans. So if Goku
Yep.
was born as a Namekian and on Namek, then he wouldn't factor into the story at all. He would just be a Namekian on Namek. And who knows how strong he would be able to get. Because again, Goku was extremely weak as a Saiyan. Because he couldn't even beat Raditz, who had a power level of like, I think 1200 in the Saiyan saga. Or just 1000, I don't remember. But somewhere around there. He couldn't even beat him as an adult. So in a race of Namekians, would Goku train? Probably not, since Namekians just don't normally train, besides like
Yep.
Piccolo. So he probably wouldn't hone his powers of Goku as like a Goku soul or something like that, because he wouldn't need to train because he was born to a race that normally doesn't. And so everything on Earth would go to crap since Goku's not there, which is also a what if that I'm also going to be working on if Goku never went to Earth. Um, and then Frieza would most likely go to Namekians to get their Dragon Balls at one point if he ever discovered them, and then would kill all of them. So that would suck if he was a Namekian. If he was a Frost Demon, it also probably wouldn't go very well because he would either be another Frieza, or he would just die because we don't even know much about the Frieza race because the only ones that we know of are like three of them, and one of them is not even canon. So it's like
Basically.
we don't know anything about their race. Like we don't know if they were like genetically made or like anything about them. So that one's very rough because we don't know anything about Frieza's race.
Basically. But um wait a minute. Is this really? Yep, Pepsi Convoy.
Hmm.
What did you think of Batara's time limit change? Tell me if he addressed this correctly.
Hmm.
Or addressed this already. Uh, no, we haven't talked about it all this stream.
Nope.
Did you ever really do a big video about that?
No, I never really said anything about it. Well, now's the chance, I
All
guess.
right. Yeah, there we go. So, in reality, I mean, I don't like the retcon. I think it was very stupid.
Hmm.
I think in reality, it would have been far more logical because Boo is a magical creature that Vegito, as soon as letting his shield down, was forcefully defused because of the magic that Boo contains inside of his body.
Hmm.
It would have been far more logical than just completely nerfing
Yep.
with the ultimate power that Patara brings because it just was on a completely different level than the Metamorph Fusion dance, and they ultimately even that out with Dragon Ball Super Broly. So it's give and take. I mean, what we got from it is now both fusions are a real force to be reckoned with, but at the same time they both have their downsides,
Hmm.
and this just brought Patara down to Metamor's level.
Yep.
It's really all it did.
Hmm. Yeah. So,
What do you? Is that how you see it?
in a way, pretty much for me, the only thing I liked about the retcon is that it gave somewhat of an answer as to why Vegito defused into Buu Saga. That's literally the only thing I like about it, but I hate everything else about it with a burning passion because
Yeah.
Vegito was supposed to be the ultimate fusion, where like there's no time limit, you're gonna be fused forever, kick ass. You can't,
Yep.
no one can beat you because Gotenks' main weakness is that he can power up all he wants, but he will defuse faster. And that was the big thing with the Metamoran fusion, where it's like you can be as strong as you want, but the main problem is that by that power comes a time cost. And the only reason why I think they did that retcon was so they could have Vegito be against Zamasu, but not that Vegito could completely curb stomp him. Because if Vegito never had that weakness, Merch Zamasu would just die. Like there would be
Exactly.
no reason. So they only did it because they're like, well, we need to retcon it or else the story will be over in like 2 seconds. And
Yep.
I don't know how to feel because I hate it because I wanted Vegito to be like the final trump card on the table where it's like, yep, that's it, you're the strongest being, no one can beat you. Um, and what also sucked about it was that in the Zamasu when he was fighting against Zamasu, he defused in like 5 minutes. And
Yeah.
that really pissed me off because I was like, okay, number one, he already has a time limit, but now you're making it even worse than the Metamoran because Vegito, like, sure he was whooping ass, but like canonically he was 5 minutes he was fighting, and he just defused because he was too powerful. And I think that sucks because I was like, great, so now it's basically worse version of Metamoran now. Because in the
Yeah.
Broly movie, Gogeta went blue, and he was fighting for a hell of a fucking lot longer than Vegito was.
Yep.
and and even after the fight, he still didn't defuse. Like
Uh,
Broly was gone, and Frieza was like, "Up, well, time to go and shoot Chilai and Lemma to kill them." Gogeta was still fused. He was still in his blue form, and he was able to be like, "Oh, don't do it, Frieza," and make jokes. So it's like, okay, so now Metamorin is technically better. Like I get that Potara they say is well, Elder Kai said that Potara is stronger, but I don't know because for since the retcon happened, I think Metamorin's better because Gogeta was able to do a lot more damage, last a lot longer than Vegito. So it's just like, I didn't really like it.
it's really annoying because at the end of the day, I was a big Vegito fan, and I
Yeah,
love Gogeta too, obviously, but I don't understand why it had to be a giant nerf,
me
what
neither.
came from that, and I read all the V Jump scans, and I know what they said about Vegito, and I know what they said about Gogeta. Vegito has supposedly an infinite wheel well of power, or his power is just ever rising. They compared him to Beerus,
Hmm.
but Gogeta, his apparently his power is just infinite.
Yep.
If you give him time, he'll just keep growing. So I don't know how to gauge that. Apparently, they're both just supposed to be absolutely amazing. And should they be unable to defuse, they would just be monsters in their own right.
Hmm.
But yeah, that basically solves the whole
Yeah.
fusion question. Uh, Chandler Does What Ifs has been killing it with these questions.
Yeah, I know, right? Now, real quick though, I gotta say, Chandler, I appreciate all of the comments, but I think we can circle back to this one later because we've already answered a bunch from you. So I want to
Yep,
give other people some chances to have their stuff shown. So I apologize. We'll come back to you later, but I want to do more people and stuff too because I know there's a lot of people waiting to get their questions answered too. So sorry, but we're gonna keep moving on to other people. That's cool.
absolutely. Let's do it.
All right, so this next one is what if Dr. Dro was good? And I also don't want to spend a lot of time on this one because I'm gonna do a video about this. So I don't want to like spoil pretty much all I want to talk about. You and I Noah can talk
So,
about this one later, but like yeah, I was gonna do a video on this one eventually.
all right. So enough said.
Hmm.
Maxi Herrera.
Yeah.
We got a video coming out on it,
Yep.
so don't you worry. You're gonna have a whole video dedicated to your question.
Hmm.
And on to the next. Jamie Nieves wants to know. You should do another what if video about what if the whole Saiyan race was in Mortal Kombat, or what if Mortal Kombat meets Dragon Ball. So I'm really glad they included the second part of the question
Yep.
because it simplified it and make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
Implementing the entire Saiyan race in Mortal Kombat would take an entire what if video.
Yep.
What if Mortal Kombat meets Dragon Ball can instantly be handled because Mortal Kombat is tournament based. Dragon Ball has tournaments
Yep.
infamously.
Yep.
So it would be just, why don't we have a tournament?
Hmm.
All right. We all know Scorpion's gonna fight Goku. We all know you want to see Raiden fight Goku. We all know now after the newest game. Sorry for the spoilers, but Shang Tsung or Fire God Liu Kang can be an amazing fight for Goku,
Hmm.
and it would be a hell of a collaboration.
Yeah. Now the only big thing for me is that I don't know a lot about Mortal Kombat, so I wouldn't be able to do this, but no, you definitely would be able
Yeah,
to.
I know. I happen to know big time
Yeah.
about Mortal Kombat, everybody. So I'm definitely down to educate Damon.
Hmm.
Before we get to this next question,
Hmm.
I do have the chat open in front of me. Ice Mario Fan 27 has been probably commenting the same question for the entire 120 minutes we've been streaming. So I'm going to answer his question quick and simple because I'm pretty sure throughout the time I've been thinking about it.
Mm.
Damon would agree with me completely throughout this entire thing. If Yamcha survived, as in what if future Yamcha survived, it would be no different than Yajirobe surviving.
Yep.
He would be completely unaffected, like in terms of strength. There, the only way he would train is Vegeta dies, thus Bulma has another mate. Which, if you really think that after Vegeta dies, Bulma's gonna want to be with anybody, you're kind of insane.
Yeah.
So Yamcha is probably going to be alone, hiding, and if they went looking for Yamcha in the original story, if he lives, they're just gonna go looking for him again.
Yeah.
So just because he survives for one moment doesn't mean he won't survive the next.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because again, same thing happened with Gohan. He survived the first encounter with the androids, trained his whole life, still died.
Yep. So at the end of the day, there's just really not much he would be able to do.
Yep.
Not to downplay your question or
Oh
anything.
no,
It's a
thank you
great
so much for
question.
asking. But just in
Yeah,
reality, it wouldn't end very
it
well.
wouldn't yeah, it wouldn't affect much. It would ultimately just lead to Yamcha getting killed again, and it sucks.
Mhm.
So I wish it wasn't like that.
Yep.
Personally, I like the design of the character and the
Mhm.
early days of him in Dragon Ball,
Yeah.
but it is what it is.
That's
So
how he's written.
Tanner Shirey or Shirai?
Yeah. For
Yeah,
this
Tanner
one,
Shirai.
we already answered a couple of these. The what
Oh,
if
cool.
Goku was born with higher power level? That one I don't want to get into because, like I said earlier, OP kills everybody. But
Yep, pretty
yeah,
much.
Frieza potential. Remember Frieza race? We already talked about that. This one though is what if the androids are reprogrammed. Now I don't know what you mean by this one. I don't know if you mean like future androids or if like
In a way,
I
he
don't know.
clarified though. What
Yeah.
if the androids were reprogrammed? So if Trunks showed up and we're sticking a present timeline,
Hmm.
you mean Jiro got dealt with earlier because he includes it in the second part of the comment?
Hmm.
Basically, um, what's it called? Jiro gets dealt with,
Hmm.
and they bring the android schematics to Bulma,
Hmm.
and Bulma would be able to reprogram them from there and maybe even take over Cell's programming.
Yeah.
Um, other than that, I don't I don't know. They would just become a part of the Z Fighters earlier.
Yeah, I know. Because the main thing about this, number one, sad saying did it. So don't
Yep.
want to work on that one. And number two, either they leave because they're like, oh, thank you for like saving us. We're just gonna go and do our own thing now. And then sell, because you said the androids. I'm assuming you mean 17, 18, and 16. Because I don't think they'd find Cell right away because he's in like the secret lab. So I don't think they'd be able to reprogram Cell. And if they weren't able to, and the androids are already dealt with, then Cell would most likely escape, find 17, 18, absorb them, become perfect, and then kill everybody. So,
Dame power to uh, make somebody like able to control the like warrant the comment section.
for here.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, some guy spamming. Okay. Let me put this dude in timeout.
Yeah. For real.
Gotcha.
Because he has at least commented
Yeah, I
20
just
times
saw.
in the
Yeah.
past 5 minutes. And honestly, I told him about 15 minutes ago
Mm,
that you were already planning to do the video.
yep.
He's been asking for part 14 of Damon
Yeah, I just saw
being in What Ifs.
that.
It's already being done, guys.
Hmm.
It's gonna take a while, especially after what just took place.
Yeah, that's the main
So
thing. Yeah, I want to talk about that real quick, but that's okay.
yeah, go ahead, bro. Take it away because that
Gotcha.
is indeed a big topic,
Yeah.
and it's honestly like it as interesting as it would be, as Zelda Gaming 64 just said.
Mm,
It's a pretty big deal. There's a reason why nothing has been coming out.
Yeah. So pretty much, if you guys don't know everything about Toei, fake Toei, struck my videos for
Yep,
a while. So everything was taken down. I couldn't upload anything anymore. Everything got screwed over. And luckily, I was able to reach out after many weeks of trying. I was able to reach out to somebody who was able to get the videos back. And thankfully, they're all back now. You can go to my channel and watch them all. But the big thing is that that bot who spammed it is still out there. And I keep up on Twitter, so I see that he's still hitting people. And the biggest thing is that if I upload a Dragon Ball video, I don't know if I'm gonna get shot again. Going back to me getting shot. So
pretty much.
yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna die again. So I right now am trying hard not to take that chance because if I upload a Dragon Ball video, God knows if everything's gonna get taken down, and this time it might be for good. So I'm taking this time to work on the Marvel ones for right now, and this Dragon Ball stream is like the stepping stone to see if I can actually do Dragon Ball stuff again. Um, and that's pretty much why there's a huge backlog of what ifs right now, like Damon and Dragon Ball and Cell Reincarnated, all those good ones and stuff. Those are on a huge backlog because if I upload a new Dragon Ball What If, who knows if I'll get my channel shut down. So for
Exactly.
those of you saying like, hey, where's more Dragon Ball content? Do more Dragon Ball content. Come on, I'm only here for Dragon Ball content. Again, I'm sorry. I want to, but I can't. And I've talked about this a bunch in a bunch of videos, and I'm sorry that you guys commenting haven't seen them. But for those of you who are here right now and you see those comments in video, either direct them to my community tab or direct them to this portion of the live stream where I talk about it. So that way I can stop getting comments. But like, where's this video? Do this video. Come on, I've been waiting. Because to be honest, I'm getting kind of sick and tired of them. Because I've talked about this situation many times and people still don't get it. Yeah.
And speaking of which, we're gonna end up having to skip the next question
Yeah.
because it's just what if Goku had Cell's potential?
Yeah, and again, super strong kills everybody.
Yep, basically. So, also the question after that, it's just what if Goku slaughtered everyone in the 21st World Tournament? That would be pretty bleak and make the entire series kind of depressing.
Yeah, because then he would have no friends. He'd probably be hunted his whole life. Raditz would come and Goku would probably either die to Raditz or Raditz would take Goku to see Frieza, and then Frieza probably would have killed him. So yeah.
Yep, pretty much. But Gray Merlion too. Finally, bro. I've seen him commenting. I know he's been waiting.
Yeah, I know.
I know he really wants us to answer this question.
Yep. What if Vegeta and his squad were recruited by the Galactic Patrol? What do you think about that one? Are you still connected? Cool. Noah, you there, bro? Take that as a no. Hold on, let me stop the call and I'll call him back. Hold on. Stream still going? Okay. Uh oh no, not that, not that. Oh no, he's gone.
I've returned.
Okay, cool.
I didn't die. No worries. I see everybody in the comment section like he dead. Zelda, I'm not dead. I don't really know what for sure happened,
Uh-huh.
but I actually remember what question we were on. So no friggin' worries. I got it under control.
Dope.
All right. So it's really great question. It's brought in with Loki's new show. I'm
Hmm.
probably gonna have to check it out. It's a really, really good show. Uh, Overall, what would probably take place is Mirror's keeping them in line. They wouldn't even have to hit their heads to become good.
Nope.
So these guys are going to become a force to be reckoned with in terms of protecting Universe 7.
Hmm.
And when they finally do come across Goku, it's only going to enhance the rivalry. Thus, if Vegeta and his squad were recruited, Raditz is going to end up crossing his brother again.
Yep.
The whole reuniting thing comes back into play, and it ultimately becomes a driving force for the Galactic Patrol and the Saiyans to take out Frieza.
Hmm.
And that's really how it would go down.
Yeah, because I don't think they'd be recruiting the Galactic Patrol for too long. Because again, like the Loki show, they're not gonna want to be there. So
Yeah,
evidently
pretty
they're.
much.
So I feel like once Frieza's defeated, it'll be like, okay, my contract's over. Can I go home now? And
Pretty much.
I feel like the only thing that would happen maybe is maybe Raditz and Nappa would live. But if they
Yeah.
fight Frieza, they might not. So it's like, who knows? So it might
Yeah,
end up
it would
like
just be
canon, or it might end up like Raditz and Nappa survive.
yeah, it might end up like they even go to Earth
Yep.
and they're just a part of the Galactic Patrol. It may
Hmm.
even bring Goku into the Galactic Patrol.
Yep.
I love how I love how Gray Merlion too says, "Damn, bro, finally my comment Noah gets oofed."
Yeah, I know. That's exactly how it went.
That's absolutely amazing. I'm sorry for that. I literally went to go blow my nose because of allergies. I muted my mic for a moment and then
Yep.
I look back on my phone and it says we're alone in the call. I'm like, ah, crap. All right, let me fix this real quick.
Yep.
So my apologies about that. But
All good, man.
it's a phenomenal question.
Hmm.
Now, Mr. Negative.
Yep. So this one,
Uh,
I feel like this one basically you answered your own question.
yep.
But if Goku Black wished for mortality, one shot.
The one after, what if Namekians could do Namekian fusion with any race with the same properties? Uh, I'd say that would only come in handy if somebody on in the Z Fighters team was on their deathbed.
Yeah.
Like, let's say in the Saiyan saga, Piccolo felt like he could absorb someone, felt like hovering over, Tien's body while he was nearly dead after
Hmm.
using all of his energy to try and take out Nappa.
Yeah.
He was able to take in Tien on his last breath,
Hmm.
and thus his powers became his own.
Yeah.
Then that would be quite the turn of events, and it would make Piccolo a
Relevant.
force to be reckoned with. Yeah,
Yeah.
relevant in Dragon Ball Super, really,
Yep.
because of the amount of warriors he would have probably have accumulated between the Tournament of Power and going through Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon
Hmm.
Ball Super. The whole 9 yards.
Yep. The
Uh,
main thing for that though is that he didn't really know anything about Namekian fusion until after Namek, I think. Because once he absorbed nails and he's like, "Oh my god, we can do this." So I feel like he would only be able to do that like after everything happened on Namek. So I don't know.
basically,
So I don't know even when that would come into play, you know?
yeah,
Because I don't think he'd really feel a need to, because it would be a huge loss if, like, in the Cell games, Goku was dying and Piccolo's like, okay, let me just absorb you real quick. Sure, Piccolo
yep,
would get
pretty much,
stronger, but we'd lose Goku forever.
exactly,
So it's like it would be a weird thing because it would benefit one person, but it would be detrimental to others.
yep,
So it's like Namekian fusion is definitely like it has its pros, but also has its gigantic cons. So
exactly.
it would have to be like a life or death, like no lose. Like if we don't do this, we'll die situation.
Pretty much.
Because like even what you were saying, if you did it in the Saiyan saga, then we would lose Tien forever. So it's like, you got to think of when to be able to do that. And I don't really think there's any point in the story like after Namek where Piccolo would be able to like actually do that. So I don't know. And plus, I think you have
Basically,
to be willing to do Namekian fusion, right?
yeah.
Yeah. So like, if Piccolo's like, okay, I'll just absorb you, and Goku's like, nah, man, no, 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 no. I don't think it would happen. So
Yeah,
I don't know. Like it's interesting, but I don't think it would happen. So
yeah, it's not realistic.
yeah. Anyway, but
Um,
and
the,
again, this one too, I think is like we talked about this already.
yeah, plus we answered the Eternal God of Possibilities questions,
Oh yeah. Uh.
as well as Mr. Negative. We just did two of his questions.
Mhm.
So,
Move on from there.
uh, yep. Directly under that, I have no idea how to say that name.
A leisurely index.
There we go. I couldn't even like see it for
Yeah,
sure,
I had to move really
but
close to my screen to read
yeah, right.
it. Yeah.
So, what if Trunks was the legendary Super Saiyan? And what if Goku told Gohan and the others of the time chamber in the future timeline? Well, if Trunks was the legendary Super Saiyan, he's already got that rage factor going for him as it is modernly in Dragon
Yep.
Ball Super. I think what the turn of events would have been is Kid Trunks in our timeline probably would have had quite a bit of anger problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, it, he just would have been more violent, more rough, um, easier to crack, probably calmer while in base state, almost like Broly, but more of a monster and more monstrous
Mhm.
when he's transformed. A little bit of a rampage going on. Uh, Future Trunks would probably be a force to be reckoned with, having
Mhm.
lived with it for so long. Thus, he would have been able to train it and control it, maybe even break out a second evolution of it.
Yep.
As far as what if Goku told Gohan and the others of the time chamber in the future timeline, I feel like their future Gohan and Trunks would have been able to become Super Saiyan 2.
Definitely.
So
Definitely.
while Goku died of the heart virus, I mean, Vegeta would have still been alive. If these guys go to the time chamber with, let's say, Piccolo
Mhm.
and, Yamcha and Tien, and they all train, the androids are kind of effed.
Yep.
I'm not gonna lie. Like they're kind of screwed
uh,
at that
what do you mean,
point.
kind of, bro? They are screwed.
Yeah, there's no possible way that Vegeta doesn't break the barrier and become Super Vegeta,
Yep.
which even 18 acknowledged was leagues and bounds ahead of the Vegeta that she went ahead against in the
Yep.
present timeline. And our androids are stronger.
Yeah, seriously. So it's like if
So,
Vegeta can get that powerful, because even during the Cell Saga when Super Vegeta was fighting Semi Perfect Cell, Android 18 said herself like, "Oh my God, how did he get this powerful? Like I beat him like yesterday."
yep.
So like she said like I can't beat him, and if Future 18's weaker and Super Vegeta fought her, she would die instantly. So
And even if the future timeline C fighters are weaker, the time chambers multiplier
mhm.
plus the goal of the training, whatever the case may be, Piccolo's jump in strength would just be
Uh-huh.
tremendous.
Yep.
Goku would probably either successfully master Super Saiyan to the point where he'd wash an android or two,
mhm.
or he would actually be able to turn Super Saiyan 2.
Mhm.
And if Goku can do it, then there's no doubt in my mind the rest of them can too.
Definitely. And
So
yeah.
it would boil down to them versus Cell,
Mhm. And they could.
and it would go exactly the same.
Yep, because again, even Cell wouldn't be able to achieve perfection because he only has his imperfect form. And since Z fighters, future Z fighters destroyed the androids, there would be no time machine because there would be no need for one. So
Exactly.
imperfect Cell would just be screwed because the Z fighters would probably kill him, and they would be able to because he's imperfect Cell. So, and the only thing
Exactly.
that I think would be somewhat of a threat is Boo, but would he even be revived? What do you think?
I mean, at that point, yeah, probably. It wouldn't. They would undoubtedly come to Earth and be like, "Oh, this would be great," and then all of a sudden, a world tournament goes down as civilization is being rebuilt because Satan wants to put on an event because that dumbass probably hid through everything.
Yeah.
And him and his daughter still have skills as far as martial artists on Earth and Earthlings, not Saiyans.
Yeah.
So this tournament goes on as civilization is relatively back to normal, and they all show up. Same thing happens as it did in the present timeline. Supreme Kai is waiting there for them, and they're caught up to speed. And the Boo saga just happens in the future, just this time with all of them there, and with the Future Squad being far more determined to prevent another catastrophe. They basically wipe the shit out of Bobbity and Deborah and the
Yep.
whole squad before Boo is even a thought. And yeah, that's how that would go,
Yep.
I
And
think.
since Goku would still be dead, Vegeta wouldn't become Majin because he'd be like, "Oh,
Yep,
I don't want to fight Goku because Goku's not alive." So they'd wipe the floor with Boo. Not even Boo, Babidi and Deborah. So like
yep.
Boo Saga wouldn't happen. And as for super events, I feel like from there on things most likely wouldn't be very good because Goku's not alive. But let's just I don't know.
Yeah, Whis will probably just swing his staff and change that anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So yes,
So,
yeah, let's move on from there then.
let's see. Dana Albus Lefu?
Yeah, I think so.
What if Damon was an Alta or LOK? Um, I don't think you've seen either of them.
I have actually.
Really?
Yep, Avatar: The Last
All right,
Airbender and
take it
Legend of
away.
Korra. Again, that's something that I will work on in the future because I want to do that actually because I do love Avatar. The main thing is that I have to decide which one I'd want to go into, which is the Last Airbender or Legend of Korra. I would most likely pick the Last Airbender because I know more about that one. So I would
Yep.
probably do that. Um, though that one's also very different because for that story, it would just be me being like, would I, number one, would I be a bender? Would I not be a bender? And how would I make like a meaningful change, you know? I guess that's the big thing I have to think about. Like I will try to work on that one in the future, but no promises because I don't know
Yeah,
if it'll
basically.
be interesting enough. So yeah, I'll just take it at that.
So, Tyrone Jenkins. This one's kind of I I don't know.
Mhm.
What's your take on Broly's potential? I think he just has regular Saiyan potential.
Well, I
All
don't agree
right.
with that last statement.
All right. My guy.
Mhm.
Broly, no matter the circumstance, like he's already laughing, and because he can tell where I'm going with
Yep.
this. No matter the circumstance, let me put it this way: Akira Toriyama went over the old Broly movie, and he was absolutely just baffled that they had tarnished a character the way that they did.
Yep.
So he sat there and he rewrote the entire story for it and was determined to make that the topic of the movie instead of whatever he had planned at the time. Thus, Dragon Ball Super Broly was born.
Mhm.
He had a completely different plan based off a movie involving Saiyans, and he was just so captivated by Broly that he completely redid the design, the story, everything. And that's how the movie came to be.
Mhm.
And because of that, you can pretty much go on and say that Broly, due to his transformation, due to his power, the rate that he fights, the rate in which he learns to fight, the rate in which he grows, and his obvious rampage,
Mhm.
and how he loses control and his berserk state, similar to Kale. and what Vegeta said when warning Goku about Kale. It's the form that the Saiyans' ancestors spoke about. Obviously, it's the legendary Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, his potential is far greater than normal Saiyans, even the Saiyan
Yep.
Prince, because at the regular Super Saiyan form, it's the legendary Super Saiyan.
Mm-hmm.
Thus, this form is on par, modernly, and in canon,
Mm-hmm.
with God forms,
Mm-hmm.
and can go blow for blow with Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta.
Yep. So I don't think that's regular Saiyan potential.
That is far, far, far from regular Saiyan potential, Tyro.
Yep.
And don't I would never beg on a question. I love the question. I think it opens a giant debate and a
Yep.
giant topic, and I think it's awesome that you asked that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he has way, and I mean leagues ahead
Yep.
of regular Saiyan potential.
Yep.
He is a downright standout, one of a kind, and he realistically, should he enter godhood or even Super Saiyan 2 or 3, his natural and his own evolution will be far greater than anything Goku and Vegeta did with the Super Saiyan forms.
1,000%.
Not counting Hakai being added to their Saiyan blood when Vegeta transforms and making that form his own, or
Mm-hmm.
Goku adapting UI into a transformation when it's really only a technique.
Mm-hmm.
However, the way you spin it, Broly's evolution, just the Saiyan forms alone, it's
Yep.
far greater than Goku and Vegeta's.
Yep. Because again, like Broly, like this Broly, he like only trained with Paragus and had never been in like a real fight in his life. Uh, and Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Trunks, Goten, they all were in life-threatening battles.
Yep,
And even then, they did not get as I can't even say as strong. They never got anywhere close to Broly's potential in one singular fight because Broly went from like somebody who could kind of tangle with base Vegeta in his regular form to somebody who could literally take on Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta and not die in one
exactly.
fight. So he has he's not at all regular Saiyan potential. So
He has above and beyond.
yep, way
Literally
beyond.
legendary.
Yep, because he is the legendary Super Saiyan. So yeah, and
Exactly.
as far as I think about his potential, I think it's cool that he's like the actual like legendary Super Saiyan, you know.
Yeah.
But it's also like I think it's also kind of like you can't really bring him back because he kind of did cap out at Super Saiyan Blue Gogeta level, like he couldn't get any stronger after that. Because if you
He has
actually
to train.
yeah, like if you actually watch the movie one more time, you'll notice that Broly, even when he went like his full power legendary Super Saiyan form, he didn't land one single hit on Blue Gogeta. He didn't land one hit at all. So
He was only able to go blow for blow because he just
yep.
kept tanking a bunch of hits.
Yeah, exactly. He could tank them all, but he couldn't hit back because Gogeta just dipped out of the way and then punched
Yep.
him. So it's like, yeah. So he did cap out, but like, if he was able to actually get like a good master and train, he would be unbeatable. So
Absolutely.
I think it's cool that he's like that, but it's also like not good for story wise.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Oh, and Lucas the Thing, thank you for the $2. He says, "I love your content, man. Keep up that grind." Thank you, dude. You're a god.
Yeah, that was a. I saw that comment. That's absolutely awesome.
Thank you so much, bro. I appreciate all the super chats you guys are giving.
Yep, it's definitely been an amazing stream.
Definitely.
Um, the Omar the Goat has a giant question.
Oh yeah.
Um, maybe what if Vegeta was sent to Earth instead of Goku? And then you would have to read the rest of that because I can't see the rest.
Yeah. So I think that you can make Goku 5 years bigger and Goku 5 years older and Vegeta 5 years younger, I think you mean. Then you can say that King Vegeta was suspicious of Frieza. Suddenly sees a large meteor coming to planet. So pretty much, yeah, Vegeta got sent to Earth. That one I think is a difficult one that I don't think we can really talk about like right now in like the stream. I feel like that's saved for either the manga that's already out of Vegeta doing that, or a
Yeah.
video by itself, because that's a gigantic topic to go over. So
Not to mention the fact it's been done.
yeah, so it's like I could do it, but I would probably be like all the comments being like, yeah, well, everybody else already did this one, so so yeah. But yeah, pretty much if you want to know about that, pretty much I think every what ifer on this planet has done something similar, or at least talked about something similar. So just look
I
up something like
recommend
that.
yeah, I recommend reading Dragon Ball Psy.
Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking about.
So that's the most noticeable of them all.
Yep. Yeah, go read that one and you'll understand. If only that one got finished, you know?
Absolutely. Yep, exactly. As far as Private E 2004, what if Goku never chose to stay dead during the 7-year time skip? Um,
The only major change I think would happen. Well, actually, there's two major changes. I think that Gohan would probably train a little bit more. I don't think he'd train every day, but he'd train a little bit more. Because I remember in the Cell Saga, Chi-Chi's like, okay, he can fight, but that's it. So
yep,
I still
pretty
feel like
much.
Gohan would kind of be the exact same as he was before, except maybe just a little bit stronger. And
Yeah,
Boo
basically.
wouldn't happen because Goku's around, so Vegeta can train to them whenever he wants. So Vegeta would never go Majin, so Boo wouldn't be released.
Pretty much.
Yeah, and I think from Super stuff, everything would pretty much stay the same except Boo's not there. And again, Boo didn't really do much in Super anyway, so it's like nothing would really
Exactly.
change after that. So yeah,
Yep, that pretty much covers it.
yeah.
So let's see. Mr. Negative with a uh another question. Up to you if you want to do it.
hmm Yeah, I'll do this one.
Um,
Will be like won't take very long.
quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, what if Namekians stayed on Earth after the Namek saga?
hmm
Um, ooh, honestly, it would make them so much more of a target.
Yep.
They'd be closer to Earth and easier to sense, yes,
hmm
but due to Goku's jump in power and more, heavy use on instant transmission, he would have been able to sense them anyway,
hmm
as Kinkai nearly just had to guide him
Yeah.
to New Namek, and he was able to just sense that forever.
hmm
Um, if the Namekians happened to stay on the Namek Saga, they just would stay on planet Namek after the Namek Saga or stay on Earth.
hmm
They just would have been easier to find
Yeah.
and easier to
Yeah.
basically target.
Yep.
Then Earth would have became overpopulated, Beerus would have complained, and when the Tournament of Power would have roamed around, it would have been a really, really big target for elimination.
Yeah. Because like since Kami's gone and they're like, okay, we need a new guardian. Let's just walk next to Bulma's house and go get Dende. So
Yeah,
instead of
right?
like boom
Plus, not
done. Oh wait, they would
not to
also
mention
the Namekian Dragon Balls would still be there.
yep, there would be two sets of Dragon Balls on one planet.
So we probably wouldn't even need a new guardian.
Nope.
Because straight up, like if we have the Namekian Dragon Balls,
Yep.
then they could just put what's his name? Mori? Is that his name, the new guardian in Namek?
Yeah.
Yeah, they could just put him
Yeah.
on the lookout and be like, hey, you're the new guardian if you want. You already are the Grand Elder now, so pretty much you can be the guardian of the planet. So then they wouldn't
Yeah.
even become the guardian. They'd have the Namekian Dragon Balls, which are like far stronger than Earth. So I don't know.
Basically.
Like, would I'm pretty sure Goku would still choose to remain dead. I'm assuming.
Yeah,
So I
he
feel like
probably
yeah,
would.
yeah. So I feel like everything would just be as actually no, up until Boo.
Yeah,
Oh my god, I just fucking remembered that. Holy shit. So
basically.
since I feel like if the Namekian standard everything would be exactly the same up until Boo, because once Super Boo kills everybody and then blows up the planet, the Dragon Balls are gone too.
Yep.
And since there's no new Namek to go to for the Dragon Balls, Goku, Vegeta, and I don't know, Mr. Satan, because then they probably wouldn't go with him. So I feel like Goku, Vegeta, and Mr. Satan would be like the only ones left.
And the only thing that could be done at that point
Hmm.
would be they would have to beat Boo
Hmm.
and then go pretty much what all those years without. Well, wait a minute. Wouldn't Dende survive though? Because they dip out on Gohan,
Yeah.
Goten, and Trunks and all of them.
Well, if he never became the Guardian, then they wouldn't bother.
True. But if Dende happens to be there because he's on Earth and he's the
Mm.
one that gets saved,
Mm.
thus the Dragon Balls would live because he would be able to just birth new ones.
Yeah, that is true. But like, if he
But
never like got up with the group, because if he was never on the lookout and he was still on the planet of Earth when Boo
yeah,
did his like nuke, then he would have died. And
so
I feel like Mr. Popo would still push like Mori off of the lookout, so like Boo wouldn't have killed him, and
yeah,
then Goku might have grabbed him instead. So,
true.
but the thing is, like, they probably wouldn't be able to beat Boo because, like we were talking about earlier, since if there weren't any Dragon Balls to grant Goku like bigger strength to like be able to push the Spirit Bomb back into Kid Boo, then
Yeah,
he would die. And again, even though people are like, well, if Kid Buu pushes Spirit Bomb back into Goku, he would get Ultra Instinct. It's like, no,
oh my god.
I don't think that would happen.
That's not how it
No,
works.
because so many people are like, oh, he only got Ultra Instinct because of the Spirit Bomb. Nope. Nope.
That's
Nope.
not how it works at
No.
all.
So it's like,
Not even in
yeah,
the slightest.
no. So like, even if the Spirit Bomb hit Goku, I don't think he would die because he's pure of heart, but it would definitely hurt.
Yep.
And Kid Buu,
Uh,
and since Dende wouldn't be there, so he can't heal anybody, Goku, Vegeta would be like dying. So I'm pretty sure Kid Buu would have killed everybody.
Absolutely.
And since Kaioshin was there, Kid Buu would have killed him too. And with Shin dead, Beerus would
Yeah,
be dead
we know where
too.
you're going.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so that means that Kid Buu would just rule the universe. Not
pretty
rule it, but
much.
just pretty much go around killing everybody. And then, since Kid Buu would kill everybody, Zeno would be like, well, there's nobody left in this universe, let's just blow it up.
Isn't that always great
Yeah.
when it just boils down to the fact that Zeno is a homicidal kid?
Yep.
Literally, that's what it boils down to, is the
Yep.
fact that Zeno is a homicidal child.
Yep.
And should he find anything wrong with just a tad bit of any universe or speck of dust,
Hmm.
it's probably going down in a blaze of glory, basically.
So yeah.
But yeah,
Man, that
so
topic ended a lot darker than I thought it would, to be honest with you.
yeah, that was pretty dark.
Yeah, I didn't expect. I was like, "Oh, nothing would change," and suddenly it's like, "Oh yeah, everything would change."
Yeah, that would be pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, and I hope you don't mind. I skipped a bunch because they were either ones we already answered or just ones that like,
No,
eh.
absolutely, not a problem. So, what's next?
Cedric Earl Antig, I think is his name. He asked, "How does cloning, either Tien style, the Ardradian style, etc., work? Do they have their own independent minds, or what if it worked like the I don't even know what that is. Like the cage bunshin in terms of training. I don't know what that is. You probably do.
I mean, I don't, but I know what he's getting at.
Mhm.
Yardradian style is basically they're kind of it's almost like mirages.
Mhm.
Like they clone themselves, but their strength doesn't split.
Yeah.
Somehow they're cloning themselves, and their strength is all just, it's not even portions, it's all perfect reflections of what their full strength would be.
Mhm.
And I have no idea how they do that because there's not really much of an explanation. They're
Yeah.
already a magical race to begin with, so that's about as much of an explanation as we get.
Yeah.
In terms of Tien's style, there's a reason why he doesn't use it often, and why in the Tournament of Power, when he used it, everyone reacted as if he basically was
Killing himself.
taking a giant risk.
Yep.
Yes, he was taking a giant risk. It was a suicide mission
Yep.
because when he uses his cloning technique, let's say he's using 4 clones,
Mhm.
he's officially divided his power into 4.
Yep.
So that's how his cloning technique works,
Mhm.
and it's kind of a hassle. So that's the best way to answer your
Yeah.
question. That's how their cloning works.
Yep. Like I think they do. The Ardradians, I think they don't have their own independent minds, but I feel like for Tien it does. They do.
Yeah, no,
But
they do.
like they're not gonna like Tien's not just gonna split himself in two and then train with that him like always have a second clone. Because I don't think it lasts
When
for that long. So
Also there's another person in the series who's quite infamous for cloning, and that's Piccolo.
yeah, because I remember in a filler episode he did clone himself and trained with it. So
And with Piccolo's clones, Piccolo his clone had its own individual mindset. So in
yep,
that case, Piccolo's yes does think for itself, but
yep,
Tien's are all connected.
yep. And again, like I don't think Piccolo could clone himself and then continuously clone himself and fuse with it or something like that. I don't think he can do
Yeah,
that.
none of that. It would just fuse back into him.
Yeah,
It would not amplify his strength.
yep. So pretty much that's how cloning in Dragon Ball works. So there we go.
Yep.
This next one, Mr. Negative, you and I are gonna work on that one already. We already talked about that.
Awesome.
For this one, new Dr. Saurus. If the androids can kill Piccolo, Vegeta, Krillin, etc., why can't they kill Teen Trunks who had less than a week of training? That one's an interesting one. So, what I think happened is that they were only kept Trunks alive because they wanted to play with him. That's what I think,
I
at
was
least.
going I was gonna say future Gohan happened.
Yeah.
Because I mean if you think about it, the rest of them got targeted, right?
Hmm.
Then Gohan was the only one who could really put up a fight anymore.
Yeah.
Thus, Trunks becomes old enough to fight, who's never crossed the androids, he's just really gotten bullied by them.
Hmm.
And it's only because he really had no choice but to fight them because he probably got cornered
Yeah.
and toyed around with and just smacked around and not taken seriously because why would he be?
Hmm.
And then thus he was trained. And upon being trained, then he was getting more and more ready for it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they could have been playing with him, but as you saw, when Gohan had to knock Trunks out, Trunks was ready to fight, but he wasn't ready to win.
Nope.
So Gohan was ready to make the sacrifice, and he knew what it was.
Hmm.
He already had one arm, there was no more sensu beans, he would just be a hindrance. But his death would serve as a purpose to drive Trunks to be the one to take them out.
Hmm.
And all that mattered at that time was Gohan rushing to the scene to show the androids that, yeah, you know what? You might take me down, but I'm going to try and take one of you down with me. And if I don't, I can guarantee you Earth's last line of defense will.
Hmm.
And they did.
Yep.
So at the end of the day, the androids didn't because they couldn't.
Yep.
And more importantly, because they didn't want to.
Hmm.
At least not yet.
Yeah. In the future they did, but like at that moment they're like, nah, not yet.
They were still having fun,
Yep. And again,
treating it like a game.
and big thank you to Power Level Vlog 1089 for the $1. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Racking in the dough this stream.
Yeah, I know. I
That's
really
always good.
appreciate all of you guys sending in super chats. It really, really means a lot and helps us out.
Absolutely. It's always awesome to see. I'm always very happy for bro when he gets his support. And thank you guys for supporting the stream
Yeah.
and tuning in for sure
Mhm.
because this has been absolutely awesome.
Mhm.
Um, to get to the next question, let's see. Let me get a close look at this name. Key Burris.
I think it's
Is
Corey.
there
I don't know.
is there a set power boost that the Majin boost gives? Not specifically,
Mm.
because when he possessed the two morons, Spopovich and Yamu,
Yep.
uh they were normal humans.
Mhm.
Then they were brought to the power level of a little bit above Videl because they had full control and mastery over Ki.
Yep.
The only problem was is that they weren't significant enough nor trained in martial arts to be
Threats.
a driving force.
Yeah.
Yeah, a threat. Thus, when used on someone who is a deadly threat already, such as Vegeta with an
Mhm.
underlying evil in his heart, it does ultimately become a greater weapon.
Yep.
And that's exactly how Boo possessed Deborah.
Mhm.
Because Deborah is not Bobity's slave in reality.
Nope. He
In
was the king. Yeah,
reality,
he was the
he's
king
not
of the
even.
demon realm.
Yep, in reality, he's not even that goody two shoes that they showed in heaven.
Yeah, in the filler. No, he's the ruler of hell.
Yeah, no, in reality, he's the king of the demon
Oh yeah,
realm.
not even
And
hell. It's the demon realm. My bad. Yeah.
yeah, should he show up, the entire realm would just fucking come together and wage war.
Yep.
It would be like Mortal Kombat. It would be absolutely insane.
Mhm.
So there's no set power boost. It
No.
just depends on who you use it on.
Yeah,
It was
exactly.
enough to it was enough to make Vegeta's Super Saiyan 2 on par with Goku.
Yeah, because and again, I know that there's a lot of people out there who think that uh Vegeta didn't have Super Saiyan 2 until he became a Majin, and I think that's just no. I don't think so
No,
at all.
that's horse shit.
Yeah.
Because Vegeta trained that whole time to
Yep.
gain the same form, and Goku did it too.
Yep.
And that's why when Vegeta transformed into Super Saiyan 2, he laughed at Goku and said, "Good to see you haven't been doing. Good to see that you haven't, basically sat on your ass the whole
Yep.
time while you were in heaven.
Yep.
At least you're stronger than your son was."
Mhm.
But then they kept powering up,
Yep.
and that's when Goku was really shocked
Mhm.
because he was basically like, "Okay, Vegeta, this is gonna take a while because
Mhm.
I knew you were a Super Saiyan 2. That makes sense, but I had no idea you were this strong."
Yep. That's
Babidi's
why.
possession pushed him to master Super Saiyan 2.
Yep. It didn't push him to
That's
the
all it
form, it
was.
pushed him to buff it up. So,
Yep, it just made it giant.
yep. So I think that's probably why they asked this question, because I know there's a lot of people who think that. But nope, he definitely had it, because why would he talk shit to Goku if he didn't also have the form himself, you know?
Exactly.
Right, and this one
So,
from Sten, I don't know, because again, Cooler's not canon, so
yep,
these ones are hard to talk about. Where it's like, sure, I can try to do stuff, but for questions like these, it's like, sorry, it wouldn't really make sense in the story, and I try not to include characters like Cooler in the what ifs now because I don't know if Cooler's gonna come back in like a future super movie because there's so many people
good.
talking about how he might come back. And so like I don't want to introduce Cooler, like the old non-canon Cooler into the story and then suddenly have it be like, okay, now there's a new canon Cooler. and how it just
Yep.
ruins the what ifs. That's why it's just like I really don't want to get into that because I don't want to be like my own stuff be retconned, you know?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Nope, perfectly fair.
Yeah, because for
Um,
like for the androids and stuff like Android 13, I know that they're not gonna ever come back. So it's
yeah.
like I know I can use them in the story.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mr. Negative has two more questions.
Mhm.
What if all the Z fighters but Goku survived the androids in the future timeline? I feel like we covered that already
Yeah, we did. And again, he wouldn't be
quite a
able
bit.
to because he would die for the heart
Yep.
virus. So
What if Moro, Broly, and Granola was in the Tournament of Power? Um, Honestly, I'm gonna be real, it's a stretch
yeah.
because first of all, Granola was not considered a threat
Nope.
until he made his wish.
Yep, that's the thing. He only I don't know how strong he was before the wish, but
He was amazingly strong, but he wasn't enough to take them out without the Dragon Balls.
yeah, because to be honest, I think that Krillin would probably like beat the shit out of Granola before
Yep,
he used the Dragon Balls. So it's like they wouldn't have recruited him because he was not strong. Like sure he was
exactly.
skilled, but he wasn't strong enough to compete in a tournament of power.
Of course.
Hmm. And as for Broly, like I don't know, like they could have grabbed him, but they didn't even know he existed.
Exactly. And why looking through the universe didn't pick up on that, I don't
Yeah,
know.
and
But
maybe he did, but he's like he's also not strong enough.
yeah, or he could have just said it's too much of a risk.
Yeah, that's true. Because he's like, yeah, this dude has a potential to like tweak, and if he
I don't
accidentally
know.
does something Zeno doesn't like,
Or,
then
slaughters everyone.
yeah, then Zeno would be like, oh, and it's a race universe 7, so it's like, eh.
If I was Reese, I'd be like, oh fuck, there's a guy version of Kale.
Yeah, seriously.
God damn it! And then
Yeah,
I'd go home right after.
yeah.
But oh, as for Moro,
Hmm.
yeah, dude, they're not taking him out of the galactic prison so he could
Nope.
compete in a tournament.
Yeah.
It's just not happening.
No. Because again, there's plenty of other fighters there. And sure, Frieza was like a gigantic risk, but at least Goku and Vegeta knew that they could take him on again if he
Yep,
tweaked out. And the thing is too is that Moro, pre like absorbing everybody's strength, I think was weaker than Super Saiyan God Vegeta. Because like in
absolutely.
the manga, like God Vegeta was like about to whoop his ass if Moro wasn't able to absorb his energy. So
Oh no,
maybe
of course.
yeah, so maybe they did see him and was like, nah, he's too much of a risk, and he's also not that strong. So,
Yeah, pretty much.
mhm. And do you know
Um,
anything about Samurai Jack?
I don't. It would be all your territory, bud.
Yeah, I don't know anything about Samurai Jack either.
Oh well, there you
So,
go.
guess we're moving on from that one. Sorry.
Um, what if the DCEU and the MCU shared a universe? Oh,
uh,
this is going to be a giant one, isn't it?
yeah.
You you kind of already know it's gonna be a giant one.
Yeah. I don't know about that one. I might make a video, like a one shot on that in the future, but as of right now, Superman.
Yeah,
That's the big thing.
pretty.
Superman.
Yeah, I'm sorry, guys, but I'd rather not find out
Yeah.
what happens when Superman slaughters the entire Marvel
Yeah.
universe by sneezing.
Yeah, seriously though. Literally rips ass, destroys the universe, bro. Like Jesus Christ.
Yo, like I really don't. I don't even want to. There's so many Superman fans out there that
Yeah.
are just like, Superman is the be all end all of existence, best thing since sliced bread, and
Yeah.
all power to you.
Yeah.
There, he probably is.
Mhm.
So, who knows?
Yeah.
I love it. I personally love watching DC movies.
Yep, me too.
Um, I like them actually kind of better than Marvel. Marvel actually has a lot of humor, but
Yeah.
DC is definitely a really good for stories.
Mhm.
And personally, I just think that if they shared a universe as much as it would be warfare at first,
Mhm.
it's just going to be all the heroes versus all the bad guys. Let's be
Yep.
real.
Yep, it would, because I feel like the Justice League and the Avengers would most likely be like one team,
Yep,
and they would be no conflict
yep,
because they'd kill everybody.
yep.
And all the people who died in the DC movies and the Marvel movies probably wouldn't die because they'd have an extra set of hands to like save them.
Exactly.
So it's like it would
Exactly.
literally I'll probably do a one shot just to like I don't know, talk about it in more detail because I think it would be interesting, but it would also like I probably wouldn't do it in like a story like in my most of my other what ifs. I'd probably be like just being like, "Hey, this is what would happen."
Yep, sounds perfect, to be
So
honest
yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
This next one is what if Damon was in Dragon Ball and MCU, which you've kind of already addressed
Yeah.
a
Already
lot?
did both of those, so
Yes.
and combining
So,
the two wouldn't make any sense, so no.
yeah. What if all universes shared a universe? Universe 6, Universe 7, Universe 10, etc. Um, I honestly I don't see if that was to happen,
Mhm.
then the universe would get overpopulated with large amounts of energy sources, thus becoming one of the biggest targets out there.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that would go because the Omni Kings would be far, far more influenced to just destroy everything and say, fuck it.
Yeah. Because they
And
already
that would
destroyed
change.
many other universes before.
Yeah,
And
it
if
could.
there's only one, then and they destroy
Yep.
it, then everybody's dead.
y-
So it's like
Yep.
that's not good.
Yeah, so it would be really, really bad
Mhm.
if that was the case.
Yeah.
So I don't know how well that would go.
Probably
Uh,
not very well.
the next question is what if the cell DNA bots followed the Z fighters into space? Well, then they probably would have kept track of the Super Saiyan forms. Thus, by the time Cell was actually birthed
Mhm.
from his machine, he would have also included the genes of a Super Saiyan.
Yep.
By the time that he had uh, molded into his imperfect form,
Mhm.
he probably would have been as strong as the Super Saiyan.
Yep.
And when he went into his imperfect form, he would probably roughly be as strong as Super Vegeta.
Yep.
And then going into his perfect form, he would be as strong as Super Saiyan 2. And then he ends off with his super perfect form, which may be pushing limits to either mastered Super Saiyan 2
Mhm.
or even at one point with some training and or Zenkai's from fighting because of his Saiyan cells, Super
Mhm.
Saiyan 3.
Yep. So it would just be like, nope, you guys are dead.
Yep, exactly. He would just be
Yeah.
absolutely OP.
Yeah. So it's a good thing that didn't
Um,
happen.
yeah, that's quite the dark timeline.
Yeah.
Uh, Um, the next question is what if Kaba was the Universe 6's legendary Super Saiyan? Presumably instead of Kale.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Vegeta might not choose him as his student because he would kind of just be more taken aback by him.
Yeah.
And thus, Kaba would have to learn how to control his power on his own.
Mm,
Maybe he would catch the attention of Broly later in the series.
mm,
But other than that, all this would do is make Kaba the Berserk one, but
yeah.
who's more polite when he's in base form.
Hmm.
But if he's harmed in any way, or if he watches Vegeta, Kale, or Caulifla get hurt, he will
Yeah.
snap.
Yeah.
That's basically it.
And the same thing would happen. Jiren would be like, "Yeah, screw you, nah." And a Goku Ultra Instinct would either knock him out, or as in the manga, Gohan would have knocked him out. So it's like,
Exactly.
Nothing would really change except he's just stronger. And Kale would have no purpose.
Yeah, exactly. The next question is, what would happen if Cell had infinite energy?
Same thing as we talked about before, everyone would die.
Cell would just be quite literally perfect and
Yep,
just kill everyone.
seriously though.
The next question is, what if Raditz went to Earth to escape from the Frieza Force?
Hmm.
Uh, I mean, to escape from the Frieza Force? Shit.
Yeah.
He pulls up to Goku and explains what's going on. You know Goku's gonna help him.
Yep. And I
And
think that
thus,
would basically be what if Raditz turned good by Masako.
yep, the brotherly reunion would start right there.
Yep. So I feel like there's not much that I could cover, or you either, because Masako already did it. So, and so many people
Ex-
have done it.
exactly.
And like, there's just like this huge thing that I have where it's like there's so many people trying to get me to do like a version of what if Raditz turned good. And it's
Oh
like,
God.
guys, I don't want to because literally everybody's already done it.
Yep.
In some way, even I have already done it in some way, shape, or form. So it's
Yep.
like, I don't want to because there's so much of it already, and I don't want to like overcrowd everything, you know? It's like, no, there's
Absolutely.
already multiple versions of it, and we already went over Ice Mario fans one, so.
Yep. We've actually let me refresh so I can confirm this.
Mhm.
Just because I'm solely curious. We have been streaming for a little over 2 hours.
Oh, nice.
We have definitely put out a pretty sick amount of content today, brother.
Hells yeah, man.
So what do you say we hit them with maybe 3 to 5 more questions?
Yeah. Well, let me see how many we have left. Because I don't think we have that many left, to be honest with you.
Oh,
Nope, I was
okay.
wrong. We have a lot more left.
Oh. He laughs.
I know. I was like, oh crap, never mind. Oh man.
So what are you thinking?
I'm thinking we should do a couple more. Like I think maybe like 5,
Yeah, let's do it.
and then we can end it. 'Cause we've been going on for a while.
Sounds like a plan, man.
Cool. All right. So sorry, Mr. Negative. I appreciate you, but we're gonna go on to people who haven't gotten those yet.
The last five's got to be new, fresh faces.
Yep.
Got to
Okay.
make sure everyone has some spotlight.
Yep. Okay.
All right.
I'll do one of this guy's. Let me see what the most interesting one is. Okay, I think the most interesting one is with Majin Buu's fast and weird regeneration, can he stack Kaioken even more than Goku and Namekians?
Honestly, for Boo, I
Mm,
don't think he would have the intelligence to pull it off.
nah.
He would have to A, absorb someone first, or B, it would
Yep.
have to be Oob.
Yep. I think Oob definitely could, because in so many like fan mangas, Oob always gets Kaioken.
He is human,
Yep. So
so
because
it
he
makes
can't
sense.
transform, so he can get Kaioken. And again,
Yep,
Oob is the reincarnation of Majin Buu, so of
yep.
course he'd be able to do it. But Boo, like Fat Boo by himself, he definitely wouldn't be able to do it because that takes a lot of training. And Boo, sure, Boo trained a little bit in tournament power, but he instantly fell asleep right after. So he definitely doesn't have the attention span to learn something like that. So yeah, and Super Boo, he probably could, like I've done in a couple of what ifs before. If he was able to absorb Goku, then things would not work out very well. Because I
Yep.
think with Boo's body, he definitely would be able to increase Kaioken way more than most people, so it would not end very well.
So with the next one, um, to go to the next guy.
Hmm.
What if Kid Goku realized his Saiyan powers due to his grandpa Gohan survived the second attack and told Goku that he wanted to master this power? Honestly, I think Grandpa Gohan would focus in on the fact that he has his tail and bringing him out under the moonlight
Mm-hmm.
and attempting to have him control it, ultimately leading for into Goku doing going into a rampage.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gonna keep happening unless Gohan finds a way to get through to him.
Yep.
It will probably take a few times, but
Mm-hmm.
should Goku gain control, he would be able to actively use the Ozaru state.
Yep.
Should he end up with his tail cut off, maybe he would be able to use Akari as
Yep.
well.
That's what I was thinking.
Um, that would drastically change the situation as it would add another transformation to
Super
his
early on.
repertoire,
Yeah.
and he would get that early,
Mm-hmm.
and thus, by the time he's actually pushed into Super Saiyan would probably be a lot stronger.
Yeah. Definitely. Because he'd have more control over his Saiyan nature.
Absolutely. So it would definitely change the series quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and it would give him a lot more strength.
Yeah.
Um, to move on to the next guy, XX or XAQJ.
Mm-hmm.
What if Shiatsu's wish of Demon Piccolo to disappear was granted? Or
Mm-hmm.
maybe you could have King Piccolo teleport to Namek or another planet. Um, I mean, if it was granted, it would have killed Piccolo off,
Mm-hmm.
both Piccolos,
Yep.
King Piccolo and the newer Piccolo,
Yep.
and
Kami.
we would have, yep, we would have just been pretty much robbed of everything.
Yep. Because if it actually
Um,
did work, then there would be no more Dragon Balls. Uh, Roshi would stay dead. Krillin would
yep,
stay dead. All the people that Tambourine killed would stay dead.
and
So
if he was transported to another planet, the Dragon Balls would still be active, but should he die somewhere else, they would cease to exist.
yeah, like, and I don't know what other planet besides Namek he would go to. And Chaozu did wish for Piccolo to disappear, so I'm pretty sure Shenron
Yep,
grant that is like, oh, you want him to die, okay? So
yep,
I don't think he would ever have a chance to go to Namek, like to be teleported to Namek. So I think it was either he dies or he doesn't. And if he died, then the series would be screwed because everybody else would die to like Raditz or Vegeta and Nappa. So.
yep, exactly. Uh, the next question by JX Gamer.
Hmm.
What if King Vegeta tried to kill Broly instead of sending him to an alternate planet? In this timeline, we would see the original Super Saiyan guy try to save the boy,
What?
merging his soul as power as red energy comes off of Broly as the night gets close to his skin breaking.
Huh?
I know that this is going to be a bad thing to say. What if the universe solo leveling was inside of Dragon Ball? The only reason why I say this is because it would be an interesting story between very powerful warriors. All right.
Bro, I'm so confused.
Yep. So, Jax Gamer. First off, if King Vegeta tried to kill Broly instead of sending him to an alternate planet, let's leave it at that because the rest of the question, I'm sorry, but it doesn't make sense because you just tried to say Yamoshi basically saves Broly, and because he's already dead, the soul of Yamoshi just like
Oh my
becomes
god.
absorbed into Broly.
Ugh.
That would be a really crappy way for him to get Super Saiyan God,
I'm sorry
and
for
I'd be
laughing.
very depressed if that happened.
I know. I'm
So
sorry for laughing. That doesn't make any sense at all.
so I don't
Oh god.
basically no. But
No.
and the second question, neither of us have any idea what you mean.
No, I'm so sorry. I don't understand.
Um so
Oh god.
yeah, my apologies about that. Um
Oh
Art Droid 29 says, "What if Damon was in the boys?"
god. I'd die.
And there you have it, guys. And there you go.
Oh.
And finally, Power Level Vlog 1089
Hmm.
would like to know what if Goku had mastered Kaioken?
I already did something similar to that because I did what if Goku got to King Kai's early, and in that one I had Goku master Kaioken. So Yeah, pretty much already did that one.
So we'll end it off with Zelda Gaming 64 since he's been very active throughout this stream.
Definitely. What's up with my voice
Um,
cracks?
hey man, we've been streaming for a while.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes its toll. So I've got a few what if suggestions. One, what if Vegeta won against Goku on Earth? Two, what if Tien stayed evil? And three, what if Goku remembered his past? So, what if Vegeta won against Goku on Earth? It would probably enhance his it would enhance his plan to take over and become the royal tyrant that he would love to be.
Yeah.
So he wins against Goku, probably kills him, blows up Earth out of frustration for the fact that nothing worked, heads to Namek, instantly fights Frieza, but I'm sorry to say he dies.
Yep.
And that's where the story ends.
Yep.
Frieza wins. If Tien had stayed evil, he probably would have killed Goku in that tournament. Because he was given the chance to. Shiasu had held him in place, and Tien had refused to carry out.
Yep.
And that's what turned Tien into something different than the others. And then the third and final question was, what if Goku remembered his past?
I'm pretty sure I already did that one.
Yeah, it's really just as simple as he remembers his mom and dad sending him away.
Yeah. And plus, what if Goku remembered his Saiyans is my most popular one, so I've already done
Yeah,
that
no,
one.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And finally, what if future Vegeta survived? Had future Vegeta survived, things would have gone completely different. Trunks would have had someone to guide him.
Completely
Gohan
different
might
from
have
Yamcha
survived.
surviving.
Yes. And who knows? I mean, past Vegeta could meet present Vegeta.
Yeah.
And it brings about a lot of interesting encounters, interesting turns, and it really just adds another fighter to the team.
Yep.
Overall, I mean, hey, if future Vegeta had survived, it would have made the future timeline a lot more of a positive place, and I'm sure Vegeta's mind would have been able to be a great addition in terms of maybe everything else would have survived. Maybe the Namek Dragon Balls would have been far more attainable with Vegeta there.
Yep.
Maybe everyone would have been far more beatable. So there you go.
Yeah.
And I think we tanked quite a bit of questions.
Yeah.
Shit, we had a lot left.
Yeah. I had to scroll down a bunch, and we did have a bunch left. Luck, I was able to find the end of it, but I think most of them we either already answered. So, yeah.
Well, I'd say we definitely gave everybody a whole lot of answers, a whole lot of things to think about. We're going to have a whole lot of stuff coming out. I know Damon is constantly in the works of his own stories, and ever since this fake Toei crap got out of the way and finally stopped screwing with all of YouTube, it definitely cleared the way for everyone to put more content out. Me and Damon have been talking about putting just a screw around stream out, whether there's 5 people watching, 20 people watching, 350. Doesn't really matter. We wanted to put some content out because there hasn't been much out, and that's always depressing, especially when it comes to something as crappy as a fake bot or someone who's behind the computer doing something that they shouldn't be doing as far as YouTube staff. And it overall just Damon's not the only one impacted. It impacted everyone. It even impacted me as an animator who loves to contribute his graphics to everyone's channel, and mainly Damon's. It definitely sucked to see the way everything panned out, but it definitely took a turn for the better. And I'm glad that it all got settled. And now it's really just a matter of putting more content out that won't get striked, that we can be sure it won't get striked when we put it out. Because you don't want to put anything out that's destined to just hit the floor.
Yep. And that's the main thing, like I said earlier, which is why I haven't been doing a bunch of Dragon Ball stuff. Because in all the
Exactly.
videos that I made before, there was literally nothing in there that was copyright, that needed to be copyright struck. I made sure, like,
Exactly.
since my first actual What If, which was What If Tarble stayed on Earth, that was my first, like, independent What If. From the beginning of that, I made sure that I didn't include like whole ass clips from the show because I knew those would get
Yep.
struck. And
Yep.
since that one, I made sure, but everything still got hit. So that's the problem where I didn't do anything wrong. So if I upload like something very similar, it might still get struck down even though I still didn't do anything wrong. So it's pretty much like it's like a lose-lose situation with all that stuff going on. And that's a big reason why it's like you haven't seen a lot of Dragon Ball stuff because even though I'm not doing anything wrong, YouTube staff isn't really helping and that bot is still going to keep coming after us. So, yeah.
And it's a screwed up situation, and it definitely definitely more things need to be done about it so it doesn't happen again in the future. And once it's cleared out of the way fully, um, more content will come out, and
Yep.
we definitely have a lot of joint things coming out too. I know me and Damon have something huge coming out as far as Saiyans and Hikari forums. I won't
Mhm.
put too much out there, but it's
Yep.
going to be absolutely awesome.
And now that we
Um,
actually hit 15,000 subscribers during all this, we can release that as the
yeah,
15K special. So there we go.
yeah. So look forward to that, guys, because we have some crazy stuff coming your way. I'm talking custom renders, I'm talking custom graphics, I'm talking an animation to go with it, I'm talking an entire storyline written by both me and Damon, and it's just going to be one giant friggin' project. And I hope you guys enjoy it for sure.
Mm.
And I'm going to try and do my best to put everything I can into it to make sure it's 5 stars. Um, hopefully, I can get in on some of the narrating too. Hopefully, I can get a lot
Definitely.
of animation done
Mhm.
so that way I can, just try to perfect my craft just a little bit more before I take it to the main screen. So it'll definitely be very fun to do, and it's definitely going to be coming out soon.
Yeah, so I hope you guys are really looking forward to that because I know I am. Definitely.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I got planned
Mhm.
to input into that specific project.
Mhm.
I think you guys are really gonna dig it.
Yep.
I'm trying to get it up there with like Alvin Earthworm's Super Mario Bros. Z. Like
Mhm.
I want old school animation, and I want it to be crisp, and I want
Yep.
it to look good and function well and fit in with the storyline. And I got a lot of stuff already made for it. So yeah, so look forward to that, everyone.
Mhm.
And it's definitely been a pleasure to be a part of this live stream and a pleasure to answer all of your questions. And I definitely always enjoy being a part of Damon's channel and doing whatever the hell he invites me to come on here and do. Um, as far as coming back here again, it'll either be another live stream or you'll see me on the 15K special where we drop
Mhm.
this project we've been teasing about.
Yep. No matter what, he's coming back, guys. So always make sure to look
Yep.
forward to it. But yeah, thank you so much
Yeah.
for coming on the stream, bro, and thank all of you guys for asking all your questions. Sorry if I wasn't able to get to a lot of them because the stream's been going on for a while. So maybe next time or another stream and stuff like that. So yeah, thank you all for being here, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, that's all I got to say.
Yep. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Happy to really guest star. Happy to be here. Thanks, David, for having me.